Hey! Hello there! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. Oh man, I have a headache right now because of work. There was no running water at work, so I purposely did not, I slowly sipped on an energy drink throughout the day, basically. I'm like, I'm not gonna risk anything. But I drank some water when I got home, at least. At the very, very least. Wow, you got the Saintess 3 times. Sheesh! Wow, what lovely blessings. Thanks, Jirigander. Speaking of the Saintess, we must protect the VIP Saintess. Gotta find out why they're targeting her after all. Who is targeting her, exactly? Hopefully you find out today. I'm itchy, my head hurts, I thirst. But it's okay, no. Not the worst feeling. Conjoining lives. We put aside our differences and the conflicts of the past and walk hand in hand towards the same future. Well, this seems nice so far. Seems positive. But yeah, as long as it doesn't turn into a migraine, I'm fine. Headaches I can put up with. Migraines, that's when I throw up and then I get a little bit upset. Speaking of upset, Harg, didn't I tell you not to bother me today? Who's... Sister? What are you doing here? Hello? Don't just stand there, take a seat. What's the matter? Can't sleep? I thought I told Yuka-tan to keep a close eye on you. No. She shakes her head. I told Yuka-tan not to come with me. I wanted to talk to you one-on-one. Ratato's never thought she would see this expression in her sister, who's usually so cheerful and straightforward. Alright, but only for a little bit. Then you go back to bed. Acting like a little girl when you're supposed to be a mom already. I want to see the bebes. I heard Arkto shouting in the drawing room today. Damn, so did he disturb you? I'll have his hairy head for this. No, it's not that. I heard what you were arguing about, and I know many bad things have been happening lately. Please, Rata, if you do know something, tell me. By Jirigander, you shouldn't be worrying about these things right now, serious. You have plenty to worry about once you take my job. But there's been trouble after trouble. Even I shut up in my room can tell that things are getting worse. I see unhappy faces outside the window every day, not to mention we haven't heard anything back from Monk. Ooh, I see flames in your bag. Good luck. I have people searching for her. I'm sure she's fine. Hey, don't forget that she's one of the finest Browntail warriors. I know. It's you I'm really worried about, Rata. I've never helped very much, but there was a time when I could at least stand by your side and give you my support. But now you're facing all this on your own. I wish you would talk to me more. There's no need to carry everything on your shoulders. Yuka-tan and I have your back no matter what. You think too much, my silly little sister. Are you really in such a hurry to take over for me? That's not what I promise you, Sierras. I'll protect you and Yuka-tan and all of Clan Browntail. If it's the last thing I do, Jirigander, be my witness. Still don't believe me? But you've got to believe Jirigander, right? Holderer? But why? Okay, that is not what I was expecting at all. Dang. There's no need to go that far. Alright. Then promise me you're going to bed now. Tomorrow will be a better day. And let me see the bebes. I want to see Oakenberry.
You honor me with your invitation, Madame Browntail. I take your thinking has changed then.
Cut the crap. Assassinating the members of Clan Silverash and Clan Pale-Roche. Driving a rift between the 3 clans. Is this how you intend to coerce me into working with you? I thought Victorian politicians were smarter than that. The man smiles nonchalantly. Sir, was it really you? 11 pulls still pity. Eee!
I'm not sure how such a notion could have occurred to you, Madame Browntail. Assassinating the leadership of another country on their own soil. It would be tantamount to a declaration of war. If it could be proven. Are you sure you want to accuse Victoria of such crimes?
So this is why you people seem so smug about yourselves.
I'm not sure I understand your meaning. But since you've deigned to meet me today, I'm very happy to listen. Is there anything I can help you with?
Go on, act smug. Your crude little plot worked, huh? The relationship between the Pale Rogues and Browntails has broken down completely, and I've become the most suspicious one here. As for Saintess, he just spun his tale about all three clans wanting stability to hoodwink that fool Arknights. He knows full well that, in the present state of Trag, should the leader of any of the clans meet an accident, it will take little effort to demoralize the already disheartened people. Well, to be fair, you made out like a bat with your pulls. So weird spooks is to be expected. If he learns of our meeting, he will not hesitate to join forces with the Pale Rogues to attack me, even if he knows full well I wouldn't promise you anything. After all, what Chirag needs right now is a culprit, one to place all the blame on. In that event, it's entirely possible that Clan Browntail will be wiped off the map. I don't have much time left.
My sympathies, madam. I'm in full agreement with your assessment of the situation. Do you intend to turn things around then?
Let's get straight to the point. First, I want an absolute guarantee that you will prioritize the safety of Clan Browntail and the people of my domain, no matter what happens.
Of course. We have long sympathized with the ordinary folk who have become marginalized by Clan Silverash. It is one of our major goals for peaceful cooperation with Drag.
Say whatever you want. Second, all the trade policies currently in place will remain so when Clan Browntail takes over from Carlin Trade, and Victoria must not withdraw any assistance currently offered to Drag. Otherwise, we reserve the right to terminate our cooperation with immediate effect. Not something you want to happen.
You need not worry, madam. We are more than eager to cooperate with Drag. I would never dream of undermining this partnership. There will be much room for further cooperation once you become the sole representative of your nation.
Good. Taking over Carlin Trade isn't something that can be accomplished overnight. We need time to prepare, and the first order of business is to deal with Arknights. I wonder if she actually wants to go through with all this, cause... It's like, girl, going after the leaders, the other leaders, oh no. Like, she knows her sister's gonna take over after her if anything, but still, girl, no. I know that man. And he will come looking for trouble if he finds out Clan Browntail has been working with Victoria. In a sense, he's an even bigger problem than Saintess. That bloody fool.
Most regrettable. The decision is yours, Madame Browntail. How should we persuade Arknights?
I will contact him again for one final meeting.
Oh?
We got both altars twice. But Ash will get one more pot at pity. Uzadel, Irene, and now Hoderer. Also maxed out Snow Hunter. So your pity pick will be... Lappy? There's an old Browntown manor at the foot of the mountains in the southwest. An area that is virtually uninhabited. I will send Arknights a message telling him to meet me there tomorrow, where I will explain the truth. The time of the meeting is set at 7 p.m., 15 hours from now. I hope Victoria will demonstrate its good faith.
Of course, you will not be disappointed. We look forward to your persuasion of Clan Pelroche.
The mountain wind carries the snow, biting the hay-thatched roof. A few dry leaves are blown into the air, landing on the braids of the girl sitting on the rooftop. She picks it out and rubs it in her fingers. Leaves. I don't know what did I get. I put that in the thingy, but I didn't claim it yet for the operator recruit tag. Or maybe I did. I just forget what I claimed. I don't remember. What kind of things that Rattatas wants to leave behind for her sis? Power. Some monies. If she gets rid of the other leaders, at least her sister wouldn't have to deal with those hardheads. Is what she might be thinking too. Though I feel like her sister could handle them. You got crying face? I'm not sure, I don't get the joke, unfortunately. I don't get sadness. The only sadness I think of is Tristan from FGO. The Rift Cloud Beast pokes its head out from behind the girl's shoulders, rubbing against her red cheeks. Oh, Suzerain. Rift Cloud Beast. I'm just clearing my head. You don't have to come out and be cold with me together. The little white creature, which has endured many harsh days and nights with Joanna, purrs gently. Thanks. I don't know how to face a Saintess. She's a Viscount of Chargander. I should love and honor her, but how could those things happen? Why must my family be punished? The girl sits quietly on the roof, Rift Cloud Beast in her arms, until the fine snowflakes cover her hair in white. Oh, you got lucky. You also got the supporter tag, so you had 50-50 for Suzerain or Magalan. The door leading to the backyard is pushed open. The visitor has added a few shallow footprints on the snow, and you sees 3 scattered crossbows as she walks to her left and picks up one to examine it. It is smaller than the one that Joanna uses. Anya casts her gaze in front, and there are 3 targets standing a short distance away, with a few bolts on them that have yet to be retrieved. They started trading at such a young age. There's a name on the stock. Does it belong to her siblings? Anya's attention is drawn to a bunch of sculptures scattered haphazardly on the ground at the other end of the yard. The visage is a familiar one. Anya approaches the largest amongst them and holds it before her. The sculpture was obviously extremely skilled, Chargander smiling gently upon her. Oh, I didn't pick a tag. The thing is, I just put 6-star operator and that's it. I left it up to gacha. I don't pick anything else. Whenever I see 6-star, I just click 6-star. Everything else can be random to me. This is just like the one we built at Lake Sobernerze. I guess this is what they all think you look like. There are other sculptures lying by her feet, and Anya picks up one of them. This one is sleeker, the chisel marks in the face rougher, giving it a sense of harshness. Perhaps the sculptor had used too much force when sculpting the face, and chiseled off a little too much. It's not right, is it? Doesn't look like Chargander at all. The face needs to be a little thinner, and the body. Will you heed the plea of your humble handmaiden, Saintess? Anya, please! See? It looks better when the face is rounder. She carefully puts the 2 sculptures of different sizes back. In this fair and familiar backyard, Anya puts her hands together and prays toward the statue of Chargander, as the elders of the Phi-MD court often do. She does not make any wish, she only hopes for a miracle. Miracle, please. Oh, Suzerain wasn't even your first 6-star from the recruit. Early on your new account, you got top with Cleric and you got Nightingale from it. Ooh, nice. The sun is set, but the huntress still sits in the yard. She hurriedly gets up to bow when she sees Enya, but the latter lays a hand on her shoulder. Saintess. No need for formalities, it's just us 2. I'd prefer if you could call me Enya. As you wish. After greeting Enya, the girl looks aside and falls quiet again. There are a lot of Chargander sculptures in the backyard. Did you and your family make them yourselves? Nods in silence. They look a little different. Is it because people interpret the image of Chargander depicted in the old books differently? My dad made the ones that look like her. I made the ones that don't. I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask, why did you make all those sculptures? My family's a branch of Clan Palroche that went into the mountains on Tergander's orders. We've been hunters ever since. We believe all that lives in the mountains share Tergander's soul, and we are all part of the eternal cycle of life within her. In gratitude for the blessings of Tergander, every member of our family must learn to sculpt the image of Tergander once we are old enough to hunt alone. We also make leather jackets, bone sculptures, and accessories with her mark. Here, blessed hunter, are the whispers of the wind and the grass not her hymns? Are the creatures that walk and fly not she embodied? The cycle of life and death is a cycle of water and ice. There is neither beginning nor end. Speak of Tergander's wisdom and love, and listen. Rely not on signs and omens, but seek upon snow-covered peaks, and become one with her. Yes, this part feels different than the other parts of Tergander. I always get stuck here. Hello. The details of the scriptures are not what matters the most. What's important is to be constantly mindful that Tergander watches and listens to our words and deeds. You may not remember the complicated verses, but you're living, hunting, and sculpting in accordance with your teachings. Even as a Saintess, I may never have truly understood the meaning of this passage if I hadn't met you. You're one of the most pious faithful I've ever met. Tergander will protect your family. Really? Yes, I'm her chosen Saintess after all. She will appear when we need her most, no matter what hardship we face. Sub. Tears roll down the young cheeks of the huntress, who always puts on a strong front, falling and melting the snow by her feet. Johanna? What's the matter? Can you tell me? Anya takes Johanna's trembling hands in hers. When I first learned to hunt, I was bitten by an infected beast, and I got erypathy. Sheesh! First thing! Dad hunted every day and made those sculptures after coming back from the hunt so that he could sell them in town to buy medicine for me. And he did it for years. A few days ago, Dad's friend told me he was at the station the day the catastrophe happened. Oh no! If I didn't... Stop. Johanna. Why, Tergander? The grieving girl drops to the ground, curled up in a fetal position. Ah, no wonder why we can get her as an operator. That makes sense now, because I'm like, why would we get a huntress? And that's why. Anya kneels by her side, trying to find words of consolation. But for all the scriptures she has memorized, none have an answer. After a brief hesitation, she begins patting the girl's back. There's a lump in her throat. If even Eternal Tergander can fall silent, what could her Saintess possibly do? Are you listening, Char? Sitting by the window, the Rift Cloud Beast suddenly growls with as much volume as it can muster, and darts back into Joanna's hood. Joanna sniffles and wipes her tears with her palms. Someone's coming. I'll get the door.
Young lady, how do I get to the nearest town?
Are you lost? Do you see those lights? Follow the trail down the mountain, and follow the lights whenever you come to a crossroads. Frame what's in Yan. We give problem. Yan to answer. Won't you right? Tergander is the solution. The difference.
It's getting dark, and my eyesight is so poor.
I'll walk with you. No, I can't leave right now. You could spend the night here and head down once the sun rises.
No, I shouldn't trouble you. I'll find the path down the mountain.
What is it? Just an old man who got lost. You're quite far from town. Do people pass by here often? No, my family are the only ones who live here. We don't see many passerby. In fact, you're the first. Look out! The old man was sus. He was an imposter all along. The ultimate assassin, the old man. Oh, I have a block. That's fun. I like blocks. I can protect this side. Protecting this side's fine. I'll put a block over there. Yeah, that's fine. Block can go there. But why not? Why can't I block that? How freaking rude. I see how it is. Can I at least block here then? I guess I can. That's nice. At the very, very least. Whatever. The arrow? Yeah, I see the arrow. What I want to face? I'm gonna face over here. Violence, my favorite. I'm sorry, Thorns. Oh no, that was bad. That was very bad. Oops. Goodbye, world. You know, maybe I'll accept this as the end. I can redo it. Redoing is an option. Oh, he's a boulder. Ew, disgusting. Yeah, I'm about to redo it anyways. Sheesh. Like, dang, sirs. Goodbye, world. Alrighty. Another one. Okay, Myrtle, just live, and then I'll put people down. I'll actually bring out healers this time. You know, healing is good. Healing is very, very good. I've learned. I've learned to love and respect healing. Always love and respect healing. Okay, this is fine. Oh, there's a snowball dude. Oh, that is so funny. The game really wants to force you to use them. Like, okay, fine. And how big is that block? Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not in the block. Thank you, Char. Thank you for your blessing. By Chiragander. This does not hurt. I'm gonna let them walk. It's funny. Okay, those ones can go. It's fine. Go get him. Of course they count as heavy. Snow is heavy, right?
Back already, Gulo. You still have the gauze in your head. I told you to think before you act. You can't get back to the you get back to the hospital right now and stay in bed. Master, I heard that you're going to meet with Rasmus again. At the Browntail's invitation. You can't go. What, you think I'm afraid of her? The witch says that she's going to tell me the truth. I'm eager to see what she spews in that mouth of hers. But Master, the meeting is on Browntail turf. This is clearly a trap. You think I don't know? A Pale Roche never runs from a fight. Just because it's her turf doesn't mean the Pale Roche is helpless there. You know what? Seeing that gauze on your head is making me doubly mad. I don't care how mad you are, Master. I'm sitting right here at the door, not budging an inch until you change your mind. And what does any of that have to do with you? It's my own fault I got hurt and couldn't protect you. All I can do is stop you from putting yourself in danger. I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at those bloody browntails. Don't worry. I'll settle the score for you. I'll show them nobody messes with Clan Pelroche. Get out of the way, brother. Master. Warriors, take General Gulo back to his room.
Gulo, you're grounded. Several warriors help Gulo up and help him walk back to his room.
Humph. I'm not afraid of them, but I won't go unprepared. Fine. Prepare a few more cars, boys. Dinner is ready. Madam sear us.
What about the matriarch? Will she not join us?
Matriarch Ratatosa just left. She says not to worry about her. I remember the matriarch saying that she had a meeting with Clan Pelroche today, but it's so early. Did she go alone? We're not sure.
Something doesn't feel right, Yuka-tan. Go after her.
All right. One moment, please, Madam Sirius and Master Yuka-tan.
What is it this time?
The matriarch left orders before she left. We're not to allow the two of you to leave home tonight. Under any circumstances.
Ooh. Very, very sus. Saintess, get down! Chat, who are these people? How dare they attempt to murder the Saintess of Trag soil? Maybe they're not from Trag. They're dangerous. Don't worry, Saintess. I'll protect you with my life. They won't get in so easily. Don't underestimate the hunters of Trag. The young huntress locks and loads her heavy crossbow, barely taking any time to aim it through the broken window before pulling the trigger. It is immediately followed by multiple screams. Hit. Careful. There are a lot of them. We can't just stay here. We need to get out. What do we do? Calm down, listen to me. Lying prone on the snow, the attacker gestures to those behind him to remain hidden. They learn the lesson the hard way. They slowly close in on the house, on guard against the crossbow bolts that can be fired from the window at any time with uncanny accuracy. They could see a shadow move behind the curtain, and the edges of the curtain sway. The attacker raises his crossbow. The poison bolt strikes the figure behind the curtain. He hears the sound of the body hitting the floor, then silence.
Hit. Not sure she's down. Units 2, 3, and 4. Hold position. Unit 1, with me. Approach with care. The intel says that there are 2 of them.
And soon to be a third. Assuming Dagonbreaker appears now. Several figures sneak up to the house, breaking it once they have determined no sound coming from inside.
What? It's a wooden sculpture?
A sculpture of Tergander lies on the ground, a crossbow bolt sticking out of its head. The assailants did not notice the delicate sound of the machinery operating as they entered the room. They hear the ringing of a bell, while their arms and legs go weak. 5 loaded crossbows with a massive net take aim at the invaders. They fell for it, just like you said. You better repent for damaging this sculpture of Tergander. Now run!
Alpha, report. The Pelroche convoy has cleared the third checkpoint. Confirm target position. Backseat of the lead car. Shall we engage? Affirmative. Wait, there's a change in the situation. The target stopped moving. No direct line of sight. I can't see what's going on. Browntail warriors? What are they doing here? Stand by. I'm calling number 1. What's the meaning of this? Your matriarch told us to come to meet her, and then sent you to stop us. The location of the meeting is just ahead, Sir Arkdosh. This will only take a minute of your time. Please allow us to search your vehicles in the interest of safety. What a joke. You're afraid of a handful of boys. When your people pick the location, you people are cowards. The orders came from Matriarch Ratos. We request your cooperation.
That's probably her way of trying to protect them. She's like, I knew they're probably gonna try to assassinate him on the way here, like how they did in the morning. So, you know what? Guards. You should go check their vehicle.
Humph, do what you want. I've got nothing to hide. No issues. You may proceed now, Sir Arkdosh. Not so fast. You searched us, now we search you. Search every nook and cranny from here to the Browntail Manor, the road and everything around it. You find anybody suspicious, take them in. Yes, sir. Report on the target's location, Alpha. Come in, Alpha.
I know, right? Arctos, when this is all done and over, you better be real eloquent with your apology.
Alpha, can you hear me? Report. What's going on? Command, the target car has entered our surveillance zone and is approaching the final point of action. Should we move? When did he... Is there any movement from the target? No, the target hasn't exited the vehicle. I can't see inside from here. Stand by. Engage once you have visual on the target. Bravo reporting. We have visual on what we believe to be an armed Chirag patrol. Have you identified them? Unclear. Possibly Pale Roche guards. Charlie, reporting. We spotted Chirag warriors too. They're searching nearby buildings. Our position may be compromised. Should we make a move now? Negative. Stand by. We've been compromised. Engaging! They found us. We've been exposed. Repeat, we've been exposed. Permission for final action. Bloody hell. Affirmative.
The north winds blow over the mountain road. The tusk beast hides among the rocks he bides. Take your bow, sing it low. By the little wood window. Hit. The forest is the domain of the hunter. The young huntress takes Enya into the forest, the mysterious assailants in hot pursuit. Their numbers are soon thinned by crossbow bolts that seem to come out of nowhere. There's at least one more. Where are you? The huntress knows that her last shot has revealed her position. While the enemy is withdrawn to the shadows, she hides behind a large tree, zeroing in on one little sound. Lock, load, loose. Missed? Uh-oh. The young huntress is pushed to the ground as her shot misses. The attacker picks up a bolt from the ground and aims it at her throat. But he never gets a chance to bring his raised hand down. It is frozen. A blurred silhouette appears from above the assailant, bringing the weight of 1,000 mountains down upon his head. The ground trembles and the snow on the tree branches is scattered. Dagenbreaker? There she be! Dagenbreaker catches a bolt flying towards her with one hand. Who are you? What do you want with the Saintess? Stop, Johanna. Dagenbreaker's a friend. Dagenbreaker? Johanna hesitantly removes the bolt from her crossbow as she looks up and down at Dagenbreaker. I've heard your name before. They say you're a strong warrior. But I've never seen a man beaten into permafrost like that. What are you doing here, Dagenbreaker?
Encioda sent me. I apologize, but now's not the time to stick to the rules.
How did he know it's in danger?
This is not the only attack in recent days. There were attempts on the lives of the members of Clan Silverash and Pelroche soon after you left the Phi-MD court. The three clans are on the brink of civil war.
How could this be?
These people.
Only now did the trio have the time to take a long look at the late assailants, more precisely. They're wearing Pelroche armor, and they're carrying standard-issue Chirag weapons. They're being framed!
Clan... Pelroche?
I doubt. That's impossible! Clan Pale Roche has always been loyal. They would never think of murdering the Saintess.
But there has to be an explanation for these people.
They must be in disguise. Someone is trying to frame the Pale Roches. Let me see. There must be some gap in their disguise. Yes, look at this bolt. Humph, these people thought they could fool us wearing Pale Roche clothes, but they got a very important thing wrong. Look, the bolts they're carrying are 2-fletched, but the ones used by Pale Roche warriors are 3-fletched, which are more suitable for battle than hunting. Dad told me that our family was the best, most loyal warriors of the Pale Roches before we split from the clan. Our shooting skills were passed down from our ancestors, who used them in war, mostly against... Yeah, Clan Pale Roche are loyal. To a fault, giving a stank eye to Arknights. Against the Silver Ashes.
A logical explanation.
All ancient history now. The wars between the 3 clans, Pale Roche, Browntail, and Silver Ash, have long since come to an end, and your family became hunters under Cherigander's kind guidance. Yes, by Cherigander.
It's not hard to guess who is impersonating Clan Pale Roche.
The Victorians. Dagonbreaker pulls a bullet from one of the Victorians' necks and examines it.
Did you make this yourself?
Yes, my dad taught me when I was little. The craftsmanship has been passed down by my family, from one generation to the next.
From one generation to the next? The cut of the fletching, the shape of the point, even the etching in the shaft, these are all unique to Ursus.
How is it possible? Dad said it's a mark of Cherigander's faithful.
I've seen arrows like these in the arenas of Cachemires many times, used by those who claim to master the most authentic Ursine martial arts. A gimmick, no doubt. But the GCC also sponsors legitimate historians. I've read their papers and seen the artifacts they dug up.
But we're all indigenous to Cherag. We used to be part of Clan Pale Roche. What does Ursus have to do with Cherag? Enya? Some brought flags, some brought drums, and some brought swords. The 3 outsiders fought constantly, and their blood turned the rivers red, and she grieved. She went to the place of battle and said, "Sheathe your weapons and let your hearts be joined, and I will bestow upon you the blessings of prosperity, and protect you from ill." But the 3 were foolish and continued to fight even after they heard her words. So she cracked the heavens and split the clouds, and she brought forth a miracle, and the fighting was stopped. One of them wept, but how could we forget the hatred, the blood that was shed? And she wept as well, and her tears froze the enemy, becoming 3 eternally frozen peaks. What was that? A passage in the Cherigander that is often overlooked. Now I think I understand. Joanna, I believe that your family, indeed, all of Pale Roche, originally came from Ursus. You think so too? Yes, but it's not just you. The Silver Ashes and Browntails came from elsewhere as well. As the scriptures say, our 3 clans are outsiders who fought incessantly over resources, until Cherigander intervened. The 3 frozen peaks seem to refer literally to the 3 mountains surrounding Cherag, but it in fact refers to the domains of the 3 clans, which she had demarcated. She will come again if the swords are not laid down. Basically, like, she was probably like resting, and then one day she feels something in her body and she's like, what the heck is going on? It's like, stop fighting, kids. And then she smacks them. And she will return if they keep fighting, so she's gonna smack them. Freaking kids, brings out the slipper. She will come again if the swords are not laid down. Several years ago, she manifested through me, averting what would have been the first civil war between the 3 clans in centuries. The hearts of the 3 clans must be joined in order to receive her protection. The first virtue that Cherigander taught us was forgiveness.
We got them, Master!
The tall guards bring over several prisoners bound with ropes.
These guys were hiding in some abandoned houses, clearly up to no good. They had binoculars and communications equipment on them. Victorians by the look of it. Ha, just as I thought. Redsworth is plotting with the Victorians to kill me. We'll take these men to her. No, we'll do it in front of the Vine court with all 3 clans present, and we'll see what she has to say for herself. Who's there? We caught the remaining Victorian spies, Sir Arktos. We're glad to see that you're unharmed. What do you mean? Matriarch Ratos' orders were to protect you, Sir Arktos.
See? Look!
We've been following you and stopped these men when they attempted to make a move against you.
The warriors put their bound prisoners down.
What in the name of Chirgander?
He's like, wait, what? She wasn't trying to kill me? Huh?
Where is Ratos? We do not know. She said that she would try to draw out the spies that Victoria's deployed around here. When they reveal themselves, we can.
Well, the old Browntown Manor explodes. Its walls turn apart like cardboard. She's fine, right? Ratos, are you okay? Glass and wood fragments fly in all directions as flames consume the traces of the once sumptuous history. The boiling smoke distorts the night air. It's not the first burning building she's been in. The pale-rouge warriors stand transfixed, eyes wide. Behind the brown car, some warriors caught by the blast now stagger as they try to help each other up. The echoes of the explosion gradually disperse, leaving the crackle of wood and distant sirens ever clearer in the night. A charred jacket drifts down in front of Arktos.
This is... Ratos? What the hell have you done?
Well, at least now he believes. He's like, oh shoot. And exactly, the #1 rule when it comes to death. Let me see the body first. A pilgrimage, a nail. As the others weep, it is time for you to depart. The snow never waits, nor is it ever in a hurry. A layer of snow has formed on the withered branch. The rift cloud beast climbs to its tip, squinting in an impression of scouting. The Saintess sighs, turning around to look behind her. The huntress following her pauses, her face slightly red from the wind. Joanna, you don't need to follow me. I'm very grateful for all that you've done. As I told you though, the pilgrimage must be completed alone. Strictly speaking, I shouldn't even be talking to you. I know. I'm not following you. I'm not your guard or your servant. I just happen to be traveling in the same direction. I like that. Don't worry, I won't talk to you. If anyone sees us, I'll pretend I don't know you. I won't let danger strike you again. I'll just follow behind. Do you know where I'm going? Wherever you're going, I'm going. That's all I need to know. But I'm looking for Chirgander. What? Looking for her? Did she disappear? I don't know, but disaster will strike Chirag again if she doesn't return. Ooh, super duper good luck at work in the morning. Good night to you. Nighty night. People will lose their lives, and even more will lose their faith. I must return to the Vine court and consult the tomes. The others must not know for now. Then I'll follow you. Don't worry. If anyone's on your tail, I'll chase them away for you. Purr. I think the Rift Cloud Beast just saw something. In the direction that the Rift Cloud Beast is looking, the trail to the Vine Peak Court is filled with people dressed in solemn colors. Looks like someone very important just passed away. Who could it be? Anya shakes her head. She cannot help but feel a shiver down her spine, thick though her clothes are. Are you alright, Anya? We'll go slowly around the crowd. Dark clouds hang low, almost touching the temple's eaves. It is a cold day even by Chirag standards, and the north wind seems to penetrate the eyes and spines of the mourners. Family members and clerics gather in the courtyard with heads bowed. The people of the Browntail domain have gathered outside to honor and grieve their matriarch who protected Chirag with her life. Snow falls upon the black umbrellas. One of the Browntail nobles gives the one in his hand a little shake, and sighs as the snow pours down.
So the matriarch's body...
They never found it. The fire was too big. They turned over every inch of whatever was left, but found nothing. I heard they had to put her usual attire in the coffin, along with some ashes gathered from the scene. Nothing more.
How sad. To think that one as bright as the matriarch would... Madam Sirius. I apologize. I spoke out of turn.
Yep, there's no body. And Sirius seems pretty calm about it. So maybe she knows. She's like, my sister wouldn't go down that easily. Sirius does not answer. She walks to the center of the courtyard, waiting for her sister, who had been by her side for as long as she could remember. Chimes tremble to the melody of the flutes. The clerics put their hands together and chant Chergander's hymn. And the people place their hands upon their hearts in prayer to the song. Chergander, have mercy, take her with you. 6 members of Clan Browntail's main branch carry a heavy non-moo wooden coffin up the muddy road. Yucatan at the head of the procession. They carefully lay the coffin down on a table in front of the new Browntail matriarch. Yucatan walks to his wife, the grief on his face contrasting with Sirius's calm expression. Yucatan.
Russ,
Thank you. The hymn draws to a close. All is quiet, and all eyes fall on Sirius. For the first time, she understands the mask that Ratos was forced to wear, the weight of responsibility, which crushes those unworthy of it. Thank you for being here to honor the memory of Ratos Browntail. She was my sister, staunch guardian of Clan Browntail, and faithful child of Chergander. Her wisdom gave her courage. She told me that she would protect me and everything here. And she always believed in a better tomorrow for Trag, even in the most troubling times. All her life, she carried out the tasks that our grandfather entrusted to her, giving everything to Clan Browntail, even in her final moments. I have lost someone very dear to me. It is only today that I realize the weight of the burden that she carried. But I will never have the chance to tell her. I know you remember her face, her voice, her sacrifice, and her deep love for Trag, for Clan Browntail, and for her family. And you remember, as I do, who took her from us, leaving behind wounds that can never fully heal. A life so short and bright as dawn shall walk with her in eternity. By Chergander. By Chergander, and to the crowd, following Sirius's lead as they kneel and pay respect to the departed. Even in times like these, when all is swept up in calamity, Chergander will continue to bring peace and tranquility to the people of Trag. 2 figures emerge in the crowd as those in attendance stand back up. It is Arktosh and Matterhorn approaching the coffin with white flowers in hand.
My condolences, Sirius. Ratos died because of me. I'll never forget it.
I bet this is Ratos' way of trying to calm Arktosh down. She's like, this guy's too hard-headed. I gotta make a big show and then make him calm.
He's like, oop, I understand now.
Thank you, Arktosh. This is a painful lesson to both our clans, to recognize who our true enemies are.
Matriarch Sirius. Saintess expresses his regret for not being able to attend the funeral, and sends his apologies and condolences. He will pay a visit to Browntail Manor personally when the time is right. Please take care, Matriarch Sirius. Yeah, he's like, I'm sober now. He's so busy he can't come to the funeral.
Thank you, I understand. Clan Browntail recognizes the work that Ensiotis has done for Trag. Let us continue the ceremony. I believe we have matters to discuss. Hello. This is such bad timing. Sirius is dealing with her new bebes and then now this. The crowd departs. The empty coffin is buried on Browntail land, next to the grandfather who loved her so dearly. With lips pressed together, Sirius looks to the 2 men before her. Both look slightly angry.
I'm simply reiterating the decision of the last Tri-Clan Council, Sir Arktosh. All external affairs shall be handled by Sir Ensiotis and Clan Silverash, including matters associated with Victoria. Is this what you had the nerve to demand? The Victorian spies? The murder of the Browntail matriarch is no small affair. I won't allow the Silverashes to interrogate them on your own.
Master Matterhorn, it was the matriarch of Clan Browntail who was assassinated. I believe Clan Browntail should have full authority on this matter. Is Ensiotis not pleased with this arrangement?
Of course not, however. It is a matter of principle to defer to the tradition of the Tri-Clan Council. There is formal and rational justification for allowing Clan Silverash to handle the spies. We've deferred to Silverash enough already, Matterhorn. You people have given us nothing but excuses when it comes to negotiating with the Victorians. And now these people have conducted terror terror attacks in broad daylight. How about we invite Saintess to explain his attitude toward the Victorians and what he's planning to Sirius's face, and then we can talk about the spies. Kindly refrain from baseless speculations, Sir Arktosh. I've already shown considerable restraint. You and Matriarch Ratos were not the only ones to be attacked. Lady Entia also narrowly escaped with her life. I would like nothing more than to get my hands on the assassins personally. Well, if that's true, then this will be easy enough. We'll put the Victorians on trial in front of all Ultrag, and then we let Clan Browntail have their way with them. Let all Terra know that Shrag shows no mercy to her enemies. Too reckless!
We already interrogated them. They are awfully tight-lipped. I doubt a public trial would achieve anything. Instead, I'm worried they may see that as an opportunity to get a rise out of the people. It's not a risk that we can take, with all the unrest in Shrag right now.
If they had the guts to do so, just cut their tongues out. We should have dragged them out and spilled their blood for Ratos at the funeral.
Arktosh, dude, that would not make the funeral better. Yeah, it's like, this is what I was envious of. Endless meetings. Ooh, disgusting. Arktosh, no one wants vengeance for my sister more than I do. But we can't get carried away while there is still hope of actually coaxing some information from them.
Matrix Sirius is right. This is a matter for... Please excuse the interruption. A cleric in the Vine-B court has something to discuss.
The last envoy from the Vine-B court almost got Arktosh and Ensia killed. How do I know you're who you say you are?
There's no need to be concerned. Sir Arktosh knows me. He's right. This is Father Frey from the Vine-B court.
All right then. What is it you want to say, Father?
I'm here for the Victorian spies. The position of the Vine-B court is that this is an extremely delicate issue. There will be considerable criticism and unrest no matter which of the three clans takes charge. Therefore, the spies should be placed in the custody of the court. We shall arrange interrogations, of which you will be informed and in which you have the opportunity to participate. I object. Why delay things when we are going to kill them anyway? The Vine-B court can't do this. The Tri-Clan Council has already decided that Clan Silverash will handle the Victorian affairs. Need I remind you that the Tri-Clan Council also agreed to return temporal power to the court? The Saintess is on a pilgrimage right now. The Vine-B court cannot decide on her behalf. It is interesting that you would mention the Saintess now, when Saintess has always been at odds with us. Ultrag knows that the Saintess and the Vine-B court have always been of one mind. The scriptures speak testament to this. The Vine-B court has often acted on behalf of the Saintess in her absence. Tell Saintess that he should not presume to take all the power for himself. Father.
Calm down, Matterhorn. Clan Browntail accedes to the request. You can send your people tomorrow, Father, and we will hand the spies over to the Vine-B court.
Cirrus?
I know your concerns, but it's more important than ever to put aside the conflicts between the three clans. It'll be great to have the Vine-B court mediate.
Thank you for your wisdom, Matriarch. The Vine-B court prays for Clan Browntail, but Turgander.
Sirius bows to the Vine-B court envoy. It is past noon, and the funeral procession begins to disperse. A man sitting in a car parked a little bit away witnesses the scene, then draws the curtain over the window.
Looks like someone is getting impatient. There's been a lot of movement in the Vine-B court ever since the Saintess's departure. I was surprised that Ratos was willing to go this far, using herself as bait to draw out the Victorian spies. An impressive performance that brought the actions of Victoria into the daylight. And if the Victorians are trying to instigate a war between her and the other clans, this is also the most effective way to cleanse any suspicion from Clan Browntail. But it's not enough. We must make good use of the valuable time that Ratos bought us. Why didn't you show up at her funeral? I want to avoid direct conflict with the other clan leaders, especially in public. And how's Enya? Her injuries were minor. All the Victorian assassins are dead. Enya says she has a plan to carry out in secret. She told me to come back once we cleaned up. All the people know is that the Saintess is currently on her pilgrimage. All the Victorians know is that their assassination attempt failed. You've wiped out all the traces of them from the mountains. And it's certainly true that the presence of the legendary Black Knight would not be conducive to secrecy. That's what I thought as well. Not a bad plan. I also need people that I can trust by my side for what is to come. Our real troubles have only just begun.
And Saintess takes out an envelope and hands it to Dragonbreaker. Inside is a thick stack of agreements and a letter written in Victorian.
Read it. A letter? From whom? You could call it a letter. Or a declaration of war.
Where's the letter? To the chairman of Carlin Trade and son of my kinswoman Elizabeth. Dear Auntie Silver Ash, I hope this letter finds you well. It's been more than a decade since we met at the banquet. Auntie, what do you want? Perhaps you recalled our conversations as I did when you heard about recent events in Victoria. You foretold the conflict that I was personally involved in. And you have earned the right to sit at the table with Victoria's equals. But do not forget that every step you have taken is on a path that Victoria wants to see taken, one which she has paid for you. Victoria's position remains the same after the catastrophe. We support Chirag's development and respect Chirag's faith, and I believe that Clan Silverash and Chirag have never needed more help than now. I will offer that help. Based on the current partnership with Carlin Trade, I'll accept the following proposal. A special office jointly created, funded and managed by both sides, establishing a foundation with its location in the city center. Victoria will double down on existing investment in the form of equipment and interest-free loans, and share more industrial technology to support the future development of Chirag. All Chirag needs to do is open its doors to Victorian mining efforts, including, but not limited to originium, repaying the loans in kind. Carlin Trade will not need to provide any cash, after all. There are many places where it can be put to good use. Considering present circumstances in Chirag, I believe this is to be a fair sign of good faith. The associated contracts have already been drafted and enclosed, ready for your review and signature. I'll be happy to meet with you should you wish to discuss the details. I look forward to the links that the Caster bloodline can build between us. And I'm curious as to whether Chirag has become what you wanted it to be. Is she not gonna sign it herself? Not even a signature. Come on, Auntie Caster. A lonely winter's night. Even as those who could be trusted are separated, she sets out on her journey with her brave heart as her companion. Alrighty. Rhine Lab Observation Station, Chirag. December 7th, 11:01. 33 hours before the Chirag catastrophe. Instruments check. Terminal battery check. Pen, ink, and paper check. Coffee check. It's all-nighter time. Whoa. A rustling sound coming from a corner gives Elena a fright. Only then does she realize that she is not the only person in the observation room. A human figure crawls out of the pile of waste paper by the instruments. Oh, it's you, Elena. Yawns, I thought some great scientist was pulling an all-nighter in an effort to win the Max Prize. Carolyn? You remember me? Yeah, sure, Victoria's Solutions! Ahahaha! As Victorians proceed to lay out the problems, yep. Of course I remember the rising star of the energy section, the youngest researcher ever to join her ranks. I'm flattered. I thought you'd already left. The schedule said I was supposed to be the one on observation duty today. Heh, like the schedule's ever meant anything. I wouldn't have been sleeping here for 2 days, for 2 straight weeks if it did. 2 straight weeks, girl. No wonder I've hardly seen you ever since I came to the station. Must be tough. How does it feel to be back? You mean, coming back to Rhine Lab? You're the first person I thought of when they started recruiting for the observation station project. But I thought you would turn it down. Honestly, it wasn't an easy decision. At the end of the day, though, the company gave me a valuable opportunity. Besides, the achievements of Rhine Lab itself have never been in question. I still think my time at Rhine Lab was the closest I've ever been to achieving my dreams. And I have to admit, even Ferdinand was a great researcher, if nothing else. Indeed, he has a mind for physics, so let him do what he does best. You know, he stopped messing with the other researchers since he got out of prison, and has been spending all his time on research. I think there's going to be a new director of energy before long. Maybe she's standing in front of me now. No. You've got to be kidding me. I just wanted to get a closer look. Elena looks up and sees a sky obscured by snow through the observation's clear dome. She hates this feeling, just like she hates her family's backwards traditions and beliefs. All the things in her way that have nothing to do with science itself. She believes that science should be pure, ever-advancing, solving questions about Terra one at a time. This observation station is an invaluable opportunity. I only want to focus on my research, maybe push a little further than the boundaries of existing knowledge, if I can. Boundaries, huh? This is the closest place there is. Say, have you heard the legend of Trag? Legend? What legend? This land has not suffered a catastrophe for 1,000 years, thanks to the protection of their god. Well, every country once attributed to unusual phenomena to the gods. Trag just held on to this tradition longer because of its isolation. Yet, it is indeed true that Trag has not suffered a catastrophe for 1,000 years. It's certainly unusual, but there must be a reason. Maybe the high elevation makes it difficult for Genium particles to converge, or... a Fahrenheit? Huh? Come on, I'm being serious. I know there are legends about the Fahrenheits, ancient beings the size of mountains that turn into mountains and rivers after death. First off, there are no confirmed accounts proving the existence of Fahrenheits. Yeah, sure. Besides, if these beings exist, where do they find the energy to sustain their biological activities? Why bring this up anyway? Just something that occurred to me while we were chatting. Well, that's enough gabbing. You can rest. I'll take over observations for the night. Really? But you've done a bunch of night shifts in a row. It's not like my circadian rhythm can get any more messed up, and chatting with you woke me up. If I recall correctly, there's still some bugs to iron out with the power supply to the high-energy particle beam. Whoa, wow. You know about that? Get some rest and put the brain of yours to better use. Well, I guess I'll take you up on that offer. Thank you so much. I'll buy you some fins and chips from the Victorian restaurant that just opened at the foot of the mountain when you have time. Please don't. No Victorian wants to enjoy authentic Victorian cuisine in a foreign land. Drag cheese fondue then? Yeah, there are no records of existence of Fahrenheit and have no way of sustenance. Well, being in Rhodes Island while eating hot pot with Neon. I wonder how she'd feel about the siblings. It's like, wait, you guys are actually Fahrenheits? It's like, oop. That sounds great. But cheese. Cheese, please. It is another deep and quiet night in Trag. The ancient land slumbers, and lamps give way to stars. The sleeping snowy mountains may seem wondrous to the uninitiated. The most who live on this land have gotten used to the sight. If you look up at the sky on a night like this... Shooting star! What's that? Both her eyes and the instruments capture the strange light that cuts across the night sky, like a sign from the heavens. Make a wish.
It appears that Carolyn was an accomplished, intelligent young researcher with a bright future.
This project is very important to both Rhine Lab and Columbia. The recruiting process was extremely selective. We were able to find any irregularities in her records and communication logs.
She was originally from Victoria.
Gosh darn it. So she was Victorian too. I am unable to provide any private information. That would be a violation of Rhine Lab's privacy policy and basic human rights. We can only provide information about her time at Rhine Lab, unless your government officially presses charges of espionage.
Of course, I was just asking. Her application material was very comprehensive, with every shift in fieldwork experience documented meticulously. Here, it seems she even requested a field survey task for herself, collecting information about Trag's geography concurrently with her scientific research.
She's been a diligent researcher, highly rated at Rhine Lab, and a model student when she was at school. Such scientists are not usually involved in the kind of trouble that we currently face. Yet at this point, we have no information or clue as to the whereabouts of Carolyn. Believe it or not, we're even more eager to find Carolyn than you are. There are many things at stake. Rhine Lab's reputation, the security of the research data, potential breach of our management system, the mutual trust and partnership between us, and Chirag's development.
Are you speaking as a member of the Scientific Ethics Consensus Committee?
Please don't misunderstand. That might sound a little condescending. I have the highest respect for what Carlin Tree is doing. After all, the courage to reach beyond one's comfort zone is the most important quality in a scientist.
Not just in scientists. There's a saying in Trag: black burden beasts are bad burden beasts. They jump their fences and run to the snowfields. Herders go into the fields, following their tracks, never return.
They die?
That's what go into the snowfields and never return usually means in Trag. One by one, pages are reviewed and placed on the table. Carolyn's notes and actions turn into a tiny pile of papers. But where did the black burning beasts go? It's the same question in the end. Perhaps they led the herders into the mountains, getting lost in the forests and freezing to death at night.
Another page is read and placed on the table.
Or perhaps...
Gnosis puts the last page down. White upon white like snowflakes falling on frozen cliffs.
They simply found a new source of water, a new haven. Can you at least tell me where exactly she carried out her field work?
Carolyn? What were you doing, Carolyn? I can't. The observation data are badly corrupted. I can't recover the original data from the port. Stacks of documents and mugs with dried coffee stains sit quietly on the table. When you first saw the shooting star, your first thought was that the loss you saw in the night sky? After everyone else is flying across the globe? After the ladder ran over it, but then you thought that it was too fast, so maybe it was just a shooting star? Or something shot the loft down from the sky? Oof. A narrow tone signifies failure of the data restoration, causing their heart to sink once more. There are ID records of all entries and exits, no message left behind in the dorms or labs. The main security camera malfunctioned, while the two of the sides of the lab didn't capture anything. It seems like too much of a coincidence. Could Carolyn really have... No, everyone else might assume that she was a spy, but I can't let bias cloud my judgment. I already requested access permissions from Director Milsess to get to the bottom of things. Knock knock. Who's been up all night? Director Milsess? Surprised to see me? I hear you haven't been back to the dorms for 2 straight nights. Are you still searching for the data that disappeared? Yes. There's little doubt that the observation logs were altered, though we're not sure who did it or why. There's reason to believe that the overwritten data hold a crucial clue. But... never mind. I brought you a little snacky. Can't work in an empty stomach after all. Thank you. What is this? You've never had it? Drag cheese pastries and little sugar with sugar frosting and berry jam. It was all the rage at the station a while back. I heard people talking about it, and had planned on trying them the next time I went down the mountain for fondue. But I've been too busy investigating special energy sources unique to drag. Elena picks up the pastry. It's dried up on the outside, but the cheese and jam inside remain moist after being heated. The sound of running water ceases, and Musa sits down by her side with 2 clean mugs in hand. Mind if I sip a cup of joe with you? Not at all. Fresh coffee fills the mugs, drenching the air in its aroma. The sound of machines operating is clearly audible at this late hour. A massive window by the wall displays the stars and Trag's night sky, deep and boundless as always. The atmosphere in the room relaxes. Elena lifts her mug after a moment of hesitation. Midnight coffee in the lab brings back memories. You used to stay up late too? Who doesn't in our line of work? Even when I was a student, I felt like I had more coffee than blood and veins for finals. Looks like everyone's been there before. Working at night's more efficient after all. Yes, night is quiet. It makes it easier to focus. I used to write one paper while dictating the summary of another using an audio recorder when I was really busy. Oh gosh, that multitasking. I do wonder how, they would react to, the more supernatural things. That way, I get to make progress on both at the same time. Crazy when I think back to it. Oh yeah, audio recorder. Huh? Audio? Where are you going? Surveillance audio recordings. Surveillance camera credentials. The time is 3:19 a.m. There. Did you say the cameras didn't capture what was happening at the lab table? Yes, but it might have captured sound from their equipment. Listen to this. A lot of instruments operating. The ticking sound should be the audio sensor. The frequency that it plays back is directly connected to graphing. We can use this frequency to recreate... Excuse me. Need a pen and paper? Here you go. Oh, thanks. Pen tip rubs against paper. The time they spend around the instruments have made researchers intimately familiar with data. She enters the numbers that she copied down into the computer, then... Oh, she got it. Oh, that is a big difference. There. This is the hidden data. Let me take a look-see. Looks like a small earthquake occurred on Mount Carlon the morning of the day before the catastrophe. No, not an earthquake. It was an impact of some kind. As if something fell from the sky into the mountains of Trag. And then came Trag's first catastrophe. Ooh, what kind of invader appeared? Outside the wide windows of the observation station, the mountains of Trag seem to reflect a translucent blue under the moon. Did Caroline go looking for this extraterrestrial object? But why would she do it on her own? She's never abandoned her post like this. She must have found something. We might be able to find her if we figure out where that thing fell. Which you can calculate from the wave frequency of the sound impact. Director Mule says, wait. The Phi-MD court isn't about to investigate on our behalf. Strictly speaking, we shouldn't get any more involved in any of this stuff. The most we can do is report this to competent control. To component control. But Caroline might be in danger. You know that's not your job. You're not exactly close to Carolyn, bluntly. Whatever happens to her is none of your business. Muses finishes her cold coffee in silence. Trying with the bitter taste, she takes a piece of pastry and puts it in her mouth, speaking as she chews. But sometimes, I kind of think the most important quality in a scientist is courage, maybe even recklessness. You're sharp, kiddo. Got a knack for finding rhythm in music. Makes for a good dancer. I wouldn't want to tie you up. Gonna let you move around free. You mean, this conversation never happened. Nobody tried to talk you out of it. Nobody told you what you can or can't do. As for this late night snack, you took it from the shared fridge yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, totally.
A lonely winter's night. Thank you, Mumu.
Looks like we'll have to deploy operators in the avalanche area. Don't worry, Doctor. All we need to do is defend the avalanche area to prevent enemies from entering.
Oh yeah, easy. Just a little mentor. Easy as that.
Oh no, they can fly.
Uh-oh. I don't want to deal with flying enemies. Actually, this is fine. I'm just gonna set up my support over here for now. Doo-doo. By the way, what will be the cliffhanger for today? And look at those bats. I'm glad they move slowly. Thank you for being slow, bats. I'm gonna face this way. Why not? Actually, no, facing up is fine. Just in case I start walking this way too. Okay, slowly gonna go after them. And you know, why not? Just bring them out. Just cause it's funny. Oh. Oh yeah, they get pushed. Oops, I forgot. Too much weight. That was my bad. But it's okay. That's what I get for being greedy. I see as they put one more person down. The game was like, your greed sickens me. Yes, I fear no enemies, but that, a flying boss enemy, that thing scares me. Oh, then fight manually while I drink some water. Cause, hydration. There's only 3 more enemies anyways. Yummy. Ta-da! No fear, no pain. You've been tampering with the clocks. You've been tampering with the locks again. You just won't give up, will you? Unfortunately, the area that the search parties are looking is at least 5 kilometers from here. Don't expect them to hear your distress signal. I'm slowly drinking the water. Humph. Still a slight headache, but, you know, that's what I get from work. At least eat something. Malnutrition during the recovery process will increase the time needed for bones to mend by 20%, and the chance of complications by 35%. It's not my intention to hurt you or leave an outstanding warrior with a permanent disability. Cut the crap! I warn you, you better kill me now. I suppose it's an option. As I said, however, I have no intention of bringing harm to Chirag, and I certainly feel no need to take innocent Chirag lives. Besides, it was a miracle that we survived the avalanche at all. It was In your people's words, Chirgander's protection, right? Shouldn't that be assigned to a faithful follower of Chirgander to value her own life? No intention of bringing harm to Trag. You've been spying for the Victorians and stealing Trag's military secrets. Such an unfair accusation. Do you really think a few battleships constitute Trag's most important secret? You speak of your god's blessings all the time, but have you really thought about what your god is? What are you talking about? Chirgander is not to be questioned or doubted. That didn't resonate? Well, I guess the only reason I'm talking to you about this is because there's nothing to do here to pass the time. Well, doesn't matter. Oh well, doesn't matter anyway. If you want to pass the time, I've got something to ask you. How did a Victorian spy work for Ryan Lab for so long? Why are you so sure that I'm a Victorian spy when I've been working at Ryan Lab for so long? Well, if you really want to hear it, I could tell you a little story. There was once a girl in Victoria who was incredibly fascinated to know how everything worked, and she wanted to spend her whole life studying. A dozen years later, she went to Columbia as visiting scholar from the Royal Victorian Academy of Sciences. It was not the Research Foundations of Victoria that found her, but an intelligence agency. Yeah, she's like, you know, your god Chirgander is sus. Like, no. She fine. From that day forth, the only thing that she was allowed to be curious about was the secret documents of the Colombian government. But her curiosity was not so easily stated. As she dug through Colombia's secrets, she found an opportunity to satisfy that very depths of her curiosity. At the end of the day, though, there's little that separates Colombia and Victoria. People fight over the slightest morsel of profit. The order that took so much hard work to build is now teetering on the brink of ruinous war. Who has the time to gaze up at the heavens, or even down at the ground we stand on, of which we know so little about? I find it all a tedious bore. Whatever, Carolyn. Early morning, Hall of Writings, Phi-MD Court. Good thing the window isn't too high. The clerics have gone to their morning prayers. The observation station is a sensitive topic right now. I need to avoid them. Maps, geographical records, anything that can help. The morning sun shines through the window and falls gently on the age books. Elena dusts off the books in front of her, but finds the writings of the clerics difficult to decipher. She begins to regret not bringing a dictionary of the Chiragi language. How do they categorize this stuff? This one's a collection of quotes? Chirgander showed herself to me and said, "Seek not my temple, but my heart." Whoa. Elena lets go to panic, and the heavy book hits the floor. Through the bookshelf, she sees a surprised face under the hood, and a crossbow pointed at her face. I think she's surrendering, Enya. What do we do? Who's saying anything about surrendering? Wait a moment. Enya? Enya Silverash? You're the Saintess? Shh. Elena nods in realization. Keep quiet and we can talk, alright? Elena nods carefully. Put away your crossbow, Joanna. Let's not scare a friend here. But she sneaks into the Phi-MD court. Doesn't seem like something a good person would do. Well, we sneaked in too. You're tired. Are you from Ryan Lab? Yes, I'm Elena, a researcher in the energy section. I'm sorry, I was just looking for a map of Drag, preferably recording the locations of mountains and originium veins. If I find a special vein, maybe I could. You could what? Elena glances at the young woman before her, who looks about the same age as her. While being the undisputed sovereign of this country, Elena's unsure if what she's about to say might offend her, but when she sees the pure curiosity in her face. Maybe I can explain how this catastrophe happened. Nice team up. You mean that Drake has been safe from catastrophe for 1,000 years because of a hidden originium vein? Yes, there's an undiscovered originium vein in the mountains surrounding Drag, which created an energy field that prevented catastrophes from forming. Impossible! Its Chiragander protects Drag. Has anyone ever seen Chiragander with their own eyes? Many people have witnessed the miracles of Chiragander with their own eyes. I respect your culture and traditions, but it doesn't prove anything. Just because you see something that can't be explained right now doesn't prove the existence of some supernatural being behind it. And how do you prove that the veins have anything to do with it? The interactions between originium is extremely complex, and what we know is only the tip of the iceberg. Brian Lab has conducted a number of experiments in recent years. Under certain conditions, originium can form energy fields that cause atmospheric originium particles to disperse rather than converge, preventing the formation of catastrophes. This is something that we have not yet been able to recreate under controlled conditions. But if an originium vein with the right conditions exists, then preventing catastrophe may be a real possibility. I've made detailed calculations. Excuse me, can I borrow this map? She's just writing on it. She takes out her notebook and shows it to the other two. She goes on a long explanation about the formulas as she draws on the page, not paying attention to whether her listener is able to keep up. Finally, Elena confidently draws a circle at the location in the foothills of the map. Therefore, the originium vein theory is the most likely explanation for Trag's lack of catastrophes. I'm quite sure that my calculations are accurate, and we find an originium vein at this location. It would explain everything. Joanna's in a daze. She glances at Enya, hoping the Saintess will rebuke this blasphemy. But the Saintess is quiet, biting her lower lip lightly. Say something. I don't know what the hell she's writing. How do you explain the recent catastrophe then? Based on the data, I suspect something from beyond the star pod fell on Mount Carlon the day before the catastrophe. Look, these are the data that the station observed the day before the catastrophe. These are infrasound waves created by the impact of the extraterrestrial object. Elena turns on her portable terminal, displaying a sharp break on the line graph. The blip. The object must be massive in size and scale. I think the catastrophe was caused by it falling into the central area of the vein, causing a shift in the energy field. The reasons for all these things is not magic or the work of a god. Enya cannot comprehend what she is hearing. Her memory begins to blur, and she feels a sort of link being torn apart. Char, a familiar voice belonging to a friend, a miracle, or hallucination? No, she's real! She can't believe it. She must not. Fear and loneliness comes over her, and it is all she can do to keep her arms from trembling. Say something, Enya. I can understand Elena's position. However, I recall a section of the Chiragander. Her heart is the heart of Carlon. Deep within the mountains, from the beating of her heart grew the flesh and bones of Trag. This is a description of the origins of Trag, as the scriptures record. We used to assume that the heart of Carlon was Lake Sobernerze, which is why we built Chirgander's statue there. In my studies these past several days, however, I found that the ancient tomes consider the freezing of the heart of Carlon to be an unusual phenomenon, but Lake Sobernerze freezes every year. Sounds like a figure of speech. Don't interrupt the Saintess while she's thinking. Maybe the heart of Carlon actually refers to something else. The Great Elder guided me to the Radsorn, but it is in fact the heart of Carlon that holds the answer. He mentioned the central area of this special vein. Yes, I built a model based on the shape of Trag's mountains, and I calculated that the extraterrestrial object likely fell on this location. Isn't this the Trag Kashimerish mines? Mines? Yes, no, it all makes sense. There's no time to waste. We need to go. One moment, foreigner. We didn't say anything about letting you around Trag on your own. Not to mention all this disrespect you've shown to Chiragander. It's alright, Joanna. We don't force our faith onto others. Besides, we need to find the truth behind this catastrophe. We'll let her travel with us. Elena. While Enya and Joanna were talking, Elena put the books back into the shelf and now sits on the windowsill, waving at the other two. She's not even waiting for them. Actually, there's usually no one at the main entrance to the Hall of Writings. Elena. Yeah, take a vacation around Terra. Better yet, join Magellan on our expedition to the ice fields. Cold moonlight pours through the dark clouds upon the decorations in Ratos' room. Sirius thought that she would be afraid to see Ratos' things, but she feels so tired that she does not even have the strength for sorrow. She knows full well that she simply imitated Ratos in dealing with the other clans a few days ago. But the more she tries, the more Ratos' shadow lingers. Sirius looks outside. It seems snow is once again falling on Browntail land. Look, Sirius, do this to the snowball, and it'll go even further when you throw it. Try it. I need you to teach me. I don't want to become you. I hate you. I hate everything you make me do. The echoes of memory are like the deafening roar of a mountain collapsing. She feels a lump in her chest. The dust-covered contracts and letters in the box bear witness to the development of Clan Browntail over the years. Sirius examines the marks left behind by Ratos and the family's business documents, and finds at the bottom of each page where the name of the Browntail matriarch should be, Sirius. Remember, Sirius, I'm your older sister and I'll become the leader of Clan Browntail, so you need to listen to me. Prove that you can do better if you're not happy about that. When the time comes, I hope you'll carry the future of Clan Browntail on your shoulders. Sirius anxiously flips through the pages, but each and every document has her name on it. Until she reaches the bottom of the pile, that little box from her memory, the secret that belongs to the two of them. This was all the things that I want to give you, but I don't want the adults to see. Don't tell anyone, it's a secret. A secret between the two of us, you and me. What's in the box? This is a communicator? Ooh. Sirius gazes at the devices in the device in her hand, the dim light illuminating her hesitation. The final audio log. I got Carlin Trade's intel about the suspicious woman. I've been watching her all morning, and I think she's planning to make a run for it. This voice, it's Monk? Good. Keep a close eye on her. Don't let her get away or pass the documents to anyone else. Yes, ma'am. Carlin Trade says we need to be careful and not draw attention. Take her alive if possible. There are a lot of questions we need to ask her. I'll tell Siotis to send help from Carlin Trade. Understood. I'll do my best. Be careful, and don't leave loose ends. Finally, there's an unanswered call from Carlin Trade. Call time. Yesterday? Carlin Trade? She might be hiding there. Which would be rather nice. Emerald. Patience is a hunter's virtue. It will help you find a gap, an opportunity, a beginning, and the dawn of friendship. Aw, how nice, the dawn of friendship. Yay for the power of friendship. Hello, Trilby Asher, what you want?
How much longer? Patience, please. Mr. Billingham.
Yeah, that was an unintentional find that wasn't supposed to happen.
As you know, the Duke has been very busy lately, having to receive several guests each day. You should remember, sir, the last time I came here. So I'd like to ask, how has she been lately? Fairly pleasant for the most part. After all, the negotiations with the Cashmereans have been nearing completion over the past few days.
soon as he finishes speaking, a dejected gentleman strides past the Chobiasher. The Chobiasher recognizes him as Derek, head of the press office. Perhaps due to the recent wave of bad publicity, he wipes the sweat off his brow with trembling hands.
I suspect today is not one such day.
I said billy him outside, let him in first, don't keep him waiting. The butler nods, and the Chobiasher hesitates for a moment before stepping into the room. Are we gonna troll him? Seated in the middle is the Duke of Castor, with a young noble standing at her side. I have another question. What kind of person is this Kashimirishan representative you met?
He's a merchant, Your Grace.
Kashimirish. Tell him that should he agree to my terms, I'm willing to lift some of the embargoes on industrial equipment. For them, there are many ways to obtain cheap minerals, and Chirag is hardly irreplaceable.
I will let him know that only Victoria can satisfy his technological and equipment needs, especially when it comes to originium.
No. You're a member of the House Castor. These minutes are best left for servants to convey. These minutes are best left for servants to convey, whereas we should always leave ourselves room to maneuver. The Kashimirishans know little about the resources we command, so why not let them exercise their imagination? Do you understand?
No worries. I guarantee that he will side with us.
Forever honor your commitments.
If you cannot, don't make them in the first place.
That is true of the Kashimirishan representative, and even more so for me. You may leave.
Yes, my apologies, Your Grace.
Once again, you have to see me disciplining these good-for-nothing whelps. Baily.
I thank Your Grace for the trust you have placed in me.
Let's not waste time on small talk. I trust you saw the gentleman who left earlier, yes?
If I'm not mistaken, that was a certain Derek. The man in charge of news and public opinion.
He should have reported to me the negative press. That the negative press, be it about Chirag or Victoria, was under control. He was instead quite profuse about his complaints, going on and on about how he couldn't do it, that it would take too long to communicate with the film crew, that he wanted to trouble me to watch the footage they sent back. If he feels like he hasn't been given enough time, he should have known that my patience has limits too. So do you have good news for me, Baily?
Yes, Your Grace. Our informant at the Rhine Observatory provided very accurate intel. Indeed, there is something highly suspicious about the mining site in which Chirag is working with Kashimirish. Following the clues that you provided, my men successfully infiltrated the site and obtained these data tables.
Just point out the highlights.
Please look at this section and the subsequent section on the next page. The former presents the mine's daily output, whereas the latter represents the purchase volume or export volume. Finally, the last page is the mine's financial report. Pay particular attention to the net profitability figure. For example, in the last 2 months,
the difference is massive. The mining site has been operating at a loss, and the greater the extraction, the greater the losses.
Exactly. We even found this mine import record. Please take a look.
A large mining site needs to separately import the very same minerals?
Therefore, I believe this confirms that the earlier theory. This so-called joint mining project is actually Carlin Trade's arsenal in disguise.
And this is the trump card that has been flipped over, sitting right there in a mining site shared jointly with a foreign company.
Which is why our agents, including myself, initially overlooked this area. It is hard to imagine that anyone could stomach such a risk.
Placing a piece in what normally would be a blind spot. It's very much his style. However, you're still one move behind, Baily.
As difficult as it is to admit, when Wellington made his move, it became imperative for us to strengthen ourselves. Given these circumstances, Trag is a valuable asset. I will not accept a lose-lose scenario. We must ensure that Ensiotis' military preparations do not catch us flat-footed. Only by knowing what his trump card exactly is can we properly plan against Trag in advance. Your Grace, if you wish to confront the Duke of Wellington, bringing Trag under control of House Castor, as well as seizing their manpower and resources, is of utmost priority. I personally believe that we should conduct a comprehensive survey of the mining site. I believe the Kashmirans will accept your term, and it's only a matter of time until they withdraw from Trag. As soon as we take control of this mining area, I will send our envoys there immediately. Why not act before the paperwork is officially signed? We cannot give Carl and Trade the time to recover their tracks.
And I'll see ya.
So under the buyer's name, look for another excuse through the Phi-MD court. Even if they suspect that something is amiss with the Kashmirans, a hasty retreat would inevitably leave traces behind. The Phi-MD court is ultimately an expandable asset. Due to your previous botch job, there is no way Ensiotis would not have his eye on them. Then we'll squeeze every last drop of value from the Phi-MD court before Ensiotis makes his move. Is that truly the missing step, Baily? Be more economical and think it through some more. The current Great Elder has consistently turned down my goodwill, and given the inability to mobilize the full strength of the Phi-MD court, we must be more careful when assessing the feasibility of this plan. Yet, Your Grace, he did not stop us from infiltrating the lower and middle ranks either. Perhaps this is the Phi-MD court's persistent arrogance, ripe for us to take advantage. Perhaps the allure of overthrowing Ensiotis will prove to be a gift too irresistible for Trag's religious figures. So, do you intend to? You're free to move the pawns inside the Phi-MD court as you please, but you must find out exactly what is going on within the mining site. Let us wait to see how Ensiotis reacts. He might just give us another reason to get involved in Trag. Yes, Your Grace. Right. I'd like you to do me a favor. Derek left some odds and ends behind. Go ahead and take them with you. When it comes to our dealings with foreign nations, we always have some journalist friends who make too much noise. Auntie Cassie, can you just not? Can I set up the camera? Can I set the camera right here? Thank you. Let's get started if you're ready. She might have someone in the court. Venerable Great Elder Odso, thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. I sincerely hope you're willing to answer a few of my questions, as well as those of the countless others who want to know more about Trag. First, I'd like to ask about something that many around Trag have been curious about recently. The people of Trag broadly believe that Tirgander protects this land. In your opinion, how do you explain this catastrophe? Does this mean that Trag has lost its divine protection? First thing you're gonna ask is that, really? That is correct. Tirgander indeed watches over this land. However, she is not a tyrant who imposes harsh decrees, but rather a patient mentor and a guiding hand. Her protection of Trag is not as straightforward as many would imagine. Her knowledge of the true way of life runs deep, and so she taught the people of Trag how to live in this land filled with calamity and devoid of thought. Thus, the people of Trag came to have a soul, and the many calamities no longer disturb them. Even so, I'm still very curious as to how a god who neither reveals its true form, nor has performed any miracles as proof of its divinity, can earn the people's faith. This belief seems to lack any grounding in evidence. Ha ha ha. Guess from afar, I can see how you hide your arrogance behind polite words. You try to reduce Trag's beliefs into a most basic form of logic, which you then criticize in an attempt to extol your own correctness and wisdom. Please believe me, that was not my intent. Sure. It's fine, don't worry. Then may I ask you a question first? In your opinion, what kind of principles do the Victorians who observe no religion follow in their lives? That's a simple answer. Victoria has their own laws. Who drafted these laws and who granted them the authority to do so?
If you're asking about the legitimacy of the Victorian regime, we need only look back at history to answer that question. The land was originally occupied by Dracos until about 300 years ago, when Aslans from Sargon launched a rebellion in Victoria, ultimately seizing control of the country.
Then I take it that in your view, might makes right. Aslans are strong and therefore righteous. Dracos are weak and therefore unjust. This so-called justice shifts just as easily as a balance of power in war. By the same logic, the devils of Casdale should feel no shame or remorse about invading the lands of other nations, their only sin being that they fell one step short of ultimate victory.
That is a patently absurd conclusion. I like how he turned that against the reporter. He's like, yo, so if you guys are saying might makes right, they're strong, they're powerful, look at what they did to you guys.
Of course. I doubt that any regime would hinge its legitimacy upon violence, because they know all too well that violence will inevitably be undone by greater violence. Nothing can remain young and mighty forever, neither people nor governments. Therefore, they must become compassionate and hope that the same compassion will be afforded to them when they are weak. So let us return to the question. What are the legal principles we take for granted, or rather, the virtues prevalent across the different civilizations sharing this land exist in the first place? To where should we direct our questions? Do we possess the sublimity inherent to being human? Are our lives innately meaningful?
Apologies, but I'm not very well versed in these subjects of philosophical speculation. May I ask, what is the point of these questions that seem so far removed from our daily lives?
You mentioned life. In fact, as long as you seriously reflect upon your own life, you will very easily find that there is nobody on this great land who is entirely devoid of faith. People always choose to place their faith in something, be it money, violence, knowledge, fame, philanthropy, or pleasure. If a person genuinely believes that nothing is inherently true, then he will quickly find himself akin to a puppet with his strings cut, unable to move at all. The followers of Teragander seek the eternal solace of the mind by questioning ourselves and seeking out the traces of our existence.
An interesting thought indeed. This seems quite different from the common perceptions floating around Trag.
Please tell me, what was your perception of Trag before you witnessed the human tragedy caused by catastrophe? The last Pure Land Terra, a sanctuary protected by the gods, a land of simple and kind but poor but happy people.
You're quite well versed in these touristy catchphrases.
It was your people who discovered and abused the power of Originium, which ruined everything. You know that countless people drowned beneath the waves you stirred. And it is this guilt that led your people to weave your illusions into the fantasy of Trag, a paradise where one can reap the benefits of Originium with none of the costs. You imagine purity because you know filth, innocence because you know deception, magnanimity because you know opportunism, piety because you know nihilism. How then can you see the farmers who have left their homeland behind, the craftsmen whose unfinished goods pile up like a mountain, and the hunters who return home empty-handed? You may even deny the existence of these people, that you may feel at ease when you swallow the blood and sweat of us savages to purify your souls.
As an investigative journalist, it's my responsibility to spread the truth, and I am hardly the only Victorian who cares about the truth regarding Trag.
Young lady, you promise to spread the truth about Trag across the lands. Your lenses are pointed at those who are more lost, more deserving of pity. Do you think we should call this the truth, or simply a fable?
I like how Azo's calmly telling her off. Yeah, she was probably gonna title something like, "The time when the god Teragander tested the faith of her people." I must admit, your questions have left me chagrined. Be it my colleagues or myself, it is hard to sit down our morbid curiosity as onlookers.
All you need to know is that Trag's belongings are not the playthings sitting behind the glass of a Victorian shop. Trag does not and will not need anyone's pity or charity. Trag will always be the people of Teragander, the home of the Trag people.
Alright, I think I'm convinced now. So in your opinion, this catastrophe will not shake the people's faith in Tirgander?
To be honest, Chirag's faith is undergoing a serious test. I cannot deny that this catastrophe has sown the seeds of darkness in the hearts of the people, causing them to gradually turn to violence and selfishness, abandoning many of their former virtues. But was all this due to catastrophe? A seed cannot germinate without the proper soil. The current turmoil in Chirag only proves that the people's beliefs have already changed, long before the catastrophe itself, and the cause of all this is Ensiotis.
Are you referring to Mr. Ensiotis Silverash, the chairman of Carlin Trade?
For thousands of years, Chirag has been spared from catastrophe by adherence to the order laid down by our god. However, the Phi-MD court is not the rigidly conservative institution that outsiders think. Even in the era before power was restored to the three clans, records in the Phi-MD court's halls of writings confirm that the court was involved in, and sometimes even instrumental to, the vast majority of changes across Chirag's history. However, we simply remind ourselves constantly of the wisdom and virtue she taught to us, ensuring that each step we take does not become counterproductive. And this order formed through the Phi-MD court has proved its reliability and stability over the long years. Yet, when you don your skis and snowboards and zoom down our snow-capped peaks, how often do you turn back to look at those who lack the condition and ability to keep up? No matter how much you might want to turn back and wait, the falling snow will obstruct your view until the acceleration carried upon the wind engulfs your every thought.
You believe that Chirag's current reforms are too radical?
Therefore, if anyone can be held responsible for the current state of Chirag, it can only be Ensiotis.
So, as an elder of the Phi-MD court, are you planning to make any changes in response to the situation?
No, I will lightly say that I'll be making any changes myself. I simply believe that, for thousands of years, the enemies of Tirgander have all vanished into the snowdrifts of history.
Like Tirgander will choose who she thinks is alright. Like, if he's still gonna be around, then that means Tirgander thinks he's okay. But if he disappears, then, well, it wasn't meant to be. The resignation documents are all here. Please make sure this envelope makes its way to Mr. Edelweiss of Carlin Trade. Don't worry, we were established by Carlin Trade and know Mr. Edelweiss very well. There won't be any mistakes. Glad to hear it. Elena turns her head somewhat nervously. After the catastrophe, the people of Chirag have largely preferred to remain at home. With one exception, the market. Hundreds of people crowd together in residential areas, temples, stores, and street stalls, the sorrow on their faces matching the gloomy weather. At the far end of the market, Joanna is gesturing with her hands, her mouth open as if beckoning for her to come quickly. Be right there. Gotta keep a low profile. I feel like probably more with his position in mind. Elena lowers her head and turns her face away, hurrying away against the flow of pedestrians. Countless Chirag people brush past her, while other Ryan Lab employees squeeze into the crowd and follows the current. Why should we choose the most crowded place? Carolyn, what you doing? People are forced to gather here in order to barter for necessities or to receive relief supplies. That they suppress their fear is a fact worn on their sleeves, many of them showing up in naught but simple local attire. Carolyn instinctively pulls her coat in tighter, walking past the men and women until she stops at the entrance to a quiet little temple. She leans against the doorframe, its paint worn and peeling, and hesitantly turns her head to look around, searching for someone else who also has an appointment. Damn it, the bell already rang. All I wanted was to find a place to continue my research. Why am I still doing this kind of work? She paused the wall next to her angrily until suddenly, a hoarse question reaches her ears.
Oh, lost lady, why do you treat the property of Chirgander in such a manner?
I'm sorry, how should I make amends?
There's no need for that. Set everything down and come with me. Should it be agreeable to you, please rest in the courtyard. I shall explain the profundity of the scriptures to you, so as to soothe your restless heart.
The old man unlocks the temple gate, and Caroline pauses apprehensively to look around before stepping inside. The devotee then follows her in and shuts the gate again. You're the one they mentioned, the one who can bring me out. Choosing to meet up here is incredibly risky, is it not?
People are undoubtedly going to be anxious in the aftermath of a catastrophe. Wandering around in sparsely populated, open areas is only going to invite more suspicion. Let's get down to business. We don't have time to waste. Have you acquired all the intel?
Well, there's a spy. He's a sus one. I have, but it's not meant for you. The Duke of Cassier's men promised me that once they took over the mine, I'll be able to leave Shrag via the internal railway. I don't know what they told you, but now's the time for you to do your part.
The mine is currently in the handover period. Once the Victorians have finished their inspection, I will take you there to meet them. I ask for your patience, madam. It is a precious virtue indeed.
I hope this is the last time. Well, did you hear that? Hear what? Sounded a bit like thunder. How strange. Seems to have come from the mountains. And also, achoo! What's this? The tip of my nose feels all chilly? Huh? That's weird. Why is it snowing again? We're in the middle of the snowy season. What's so strange about that? No, that can't be it. Even at this time of year, there's always signs before it starts snowing. Sniff. The girl lifts her head, her expression suddenly turning serious. It's snowing, but it doesn't smell like snow. It's very strange. An old man once said that the snow only loses its scent when something truly terrible is about to happen. Is Chirgander warning us again? Divine will is less important than how heavy the snowfall is going to be, and how it will threaten our safety. As for the scent of snow you mentioned, the air temperature and humidity change before it snows, which may give off the illusion of a peculiar scent. But to treat this as some way of gauging the weather, or even as a divination of some sort is, well... Ooh, I wonder what Carolyn's trying to do. Like, what is her main research that she wants to go for? And this event was crazy. I can imagine it's pretty crazy so far. I frankly don't think it makes any sense. No, the scent of snow is the scent of snow, not some other smell. Chirgander has given hunters a sense of smell, a keen sense of smell, and eyes that can see in the dark. On the snowfields, we know much more than you do. Okay then, I don't mean to question your personal experience, but I still have to act according to my own experience. Ooh, congratulations! As Alana speaks, she sets up the observation equipment and begins to carefully record the data. The girl pouts discontentedly, looking at the device with a distinctively old-fashioned Chirag look. That lump of metal of yours has been beeping this entire time, and it's heavy too. We would have gotten here way sooner without you having to lug it around. But it's how we can make sure that every step we take is safe and secure. After catastrophe, we must be extremely cautious inside originium zones. A sudden gust of wind rises, causing Elena to stumble, but Joanna catches her from behind, just in the nick of time. Thanks. Humph. The chilly snowflake-laced wind sweeps over them, and all their noise ceases, save for the whistling wind and a sharp, biting cold. How did the temperature drop so sharply all of a sudden? Is this... I know a deserted village up ahead. Let us head over there and find a house to shelter in. Enya, who's been lagging behind the group because she was flipping through her notebook, steps in between the two. She stretches her palms out, her fingertips only slightly reddened from the cold. Come, take my hand. The fresh snow is too slippery, and the terrain here is steep as well. It would be terrible if someone slipped and fell here. You're both hesitating? Do you not want to hold my hands? Enya, I mean your holiness, No, thank you. No, thank you. One hand extends forward. I'm just doing this for her holiness. Joanna turns her head away, but nevertheless places her hand within Enya's. Buddy system. Phew, thankfully. The temple is in a much better state than the other buildings because there are still people who come by occasionally to do repairs. The three shake off their thick snow from their cloaks. They arrive at the village only briefly before the snow starts to come down heavily, fluttering down like feathers. You two, go ahead and rest. I'll see if the fireplace here can still be lit. You can usually find a small woodshed behind the village temple. I'll go take a look. Need my help? I'm good. Didn't you say you were going to do the weather forecast? Just do your thing. Just go do your thing. I've already set it up. The measuring device will automatically gather data from our surrounding area, so I can help you carry. I told you I'm good. Don't follow me. Before Elena can even stand up, Joanna already manages to feel out the small door behind the temple statue with practiced ease. The layout of any Chirag monastery is more or less the same. The girl rushes out back, and the door slams loudly behind her. Did I do something to upset her? Maybe just a little, but not that much. Don't worry about it. Elena, yes. I'm sorry, Elena. Joanna's a kind girl. Even when she's grumpy, she still wants you to be warm. Just like not long ago, when she protected me from assassins, even though she despises me. Oh, it really kicked up on the storytelling. That's good. However, for many of Chirag's villagers, your thoughts and words can hurt them, even if they are without malice. I'm sorry, I was too rash. That's not your fault, nor is it the fault of Chirag's people. If anything is at fault, perhaps it is simply your differences. Any sort of communication between people is about these differences. Even partners who work together in the lab, sharing the same ideas and goals, can still have disagreements. Which is why communication and understanding between people is so precious. Enya folds her cloak and puts it aside, pointing to the snowflake on it that is not yet melted. Oh, look at that. A snowflake? The people of Chirag sometimes use snowflakes that have not melted upon stepping indoors as a form of divination. These unbroken branch-like snowflakes are a sign that our journey will be smooth. According to folklore, the snow is a messenger protected by Chiragander, carrying important truths and omens. It can predict the harvest, the hunt, the craftsman's hammer fall, and even quarrels between friends and lovers. Some may say that this iconic tree-like hexagonal snowflake with well-defined branches is a sign of good fortune, but others just as easily see within it a broken connection, an omen of disaster. And so, regardless of what happens in the end, the fortune teller always has something to say. Worst case scenario, they always say, the diviner you met was just bad. The movement of the stars has already revealed the truth long ago, and use that to defend their authority. You also seem quite knowledgeable about divination, Elena. You could say I've had some run-ins with them due to family circumstances. In any case, most divination has nothing to do with revealing the truth. It's just a form of self-delusion and sophistry. A place where no people wish to go, has no roads leading to it. If a problem does not exist, there will be no solution created to resolve it. Fate is a fickle thing, just as your science should acknowledge that there are many things on this land that cannot be controlled or predicted. On this great land, we are but tiny people trying to grasp a glimmer of the prophetic and the true. Is this so different from the origins of scientific discovery? Knowledge is what makes people feel safe and allow them to face an unreasonably uncertain future. In a sense, coincidence, probability, and fate are all the same concept. Fate falls on many, just as a snowflake has fallen on my cloak. I get it. Even placebos can be an efficacious type of medicine. But I've also seen many things in modern drag. In the past, I always try to see such strong beliefs as a kind of cultural phenomenon, a ritual, projection, a form of comfort-seeking. But what exactly are they to you people? She asked the question in a soft, subdued voice. The wind outside the window has already subsided significantly. Drag Saintess looks up at the statue of Tergander on the altar. Beneath a slab of stone engraved with messy markings, several brightly colored figurines sit side by side. They are exhibition goods produced around the time of the Lake Silbernerze ceremony. By the look of things, someone brought them to this village temple as an offering to the reclusive Tergander. The clerics of the Phi-MD court often describe Faith as walking into the darkness without a lamp, or leaping fearlessly into a silent ravine. Everyone always seems to yearn for her. Ascetics, devout believers, faithful followers of the commandments, countless people endure innumerable hardships just to reach her side. But for me, she tries hard to recall, but the memories in her mind are now but struggling fragments, jumping around like frames from a movie, shrouded in a dark haze. A strong emotion surges once more within Enya's heart. Trouble! Joanna suddenly rushes in with a gasp, fire in her arms, and her cheeks flush from running. I just saw, coming down the mountain, lots of Victorian cars heading for the mine. Victorians? Then mine is a joint operation with Kashmiraj. What are they trying to do there? You're starting to notice a pan for the children of Trag. They're eloquent, Rantos and Ziotis, Ados Enya, Renzi and Enya, Matterhorn and Courier. Meanwhile, Arktos, never mind. Have they already picked up our trail? Don't panic just yet. Regardless of what business they have with the mine, we have to hurry. Let's pack up our things and set out immediately. We need to be even more careful and discreet on the road ahead. Just a second, please. I need to pack up my instrument first, and it... Wait, how could this... What are you dialing around for? Hurry, pack it up. Here, I'll help you. What is this? This moderate catastrophe risk written here. Does it mean what I think it means? Ooh. I alone am the illiterate one. Oh no. Yet he somehow won over the mama. My gosh darn it, Arktos. Catastrophe. Could there be another catastrophe brewing? Oh, Char's working hard. The ruined vacation event. The almost vacation. And you know, I'll put her here, because why not? D19. No fear. No fear, no pain. Alrighty, let's see how this goes. I just gotta make sure not to put people too heavy. Okay. This is fine, completely fine. This is fine so far. And now I'm thinking where to put them. Like, over here seems okay. Yeah. Oh, your place is murdered in a lot of cases. Ooh. Okay, so far so good. 16, 17. Come on, 18. Come on. Done. Phew. Easy. Best stage yet. You know, it's real hard getting an audience with you these days. And Saintess.
I'm truly sorry I wasn't able to attend the matriarch's funeral. Madam Saintess, I'm deeply saddened by what has befallen the Browntail clan. Please let me know if there's anything Clan Silverash can do to help.
Thanks, Saintess. But it's not what I came here to discuss.
Your visit this time, Madam Saintess, must be to give me a chance to earn your trust.
Humph, my sister once told me that you're least trustworthy when you lower your head like this.
I wonder about your opinion of me then.
You don't have to beat around the bush. I don't like it. My sister used to scold me for being impulsive and for not always thinking things through before I speak or act. I wanted to prove to her that I didn't need to hide under her wing, that I could do something for Clan Browntail. But now, as new matriarch of the clan, there is no one left for me to prove anything to.
I understand how you feel. I also have 2 younger sisters.
And you think they're both smarter than me, huh? Both Encia and the Saintess.
You think too little of yourself, Madam Saintess. However, I do think they share your persistence and determination.
Is Encia okay? I heard she was in an accident.
Thank you for your concern. She is safe and sound, and she's already returned home.
You always keep that calm and composed demeanor. What I want to know is, these attacks on Shrag, including what happened to my sister, did you know about them ahead of time?
So this is the real reason you decided to visit me today.
And Saintess, my sister had been helping you this entire time, isn't that right? I wasn't totally in the dark about it, but it wasn't until her passing that I learned. Your plans for Victoria, Rhine Lab, and what Monk has been investigating. There's too much I don't know anything about. Don't try to deny it. Don't lie to me, Saintess. You have to know the truth behind her murder.
If you truly believe that I had a hand in the matriarch's death...
No, that's not what I mean. I don't know what Bradatos was plotting with you, but I know for sure that whatever it was to protect Trag. So, I will follow in her footsteps, whatever Clan Browntail's affairs may be. I will take responsibility for them. Which is why I need you to tell me exactly what happened to her.
My apologies, Sir Saintess, but they were determined to break in no matter what. To what do I owe the honor for you to barge into my home like this? Sir Saintess, why did Carlin Trade transfer all of its shares in the Cherai Kashmir's joint mining operation to Victoria without authorization?
Dude, really?
Where'd this news come from? It is an observable fact. The mines have been completely taken over by the Victorians. Great Elder Alonso believes that such actions by Carlin Trade constitute illegal collusion with a foreign power, and as such, the Vine Court has no choice but to exercise its authority to intervene. We require that you report to the Vine Court immediately to explain yourself. If I understand this correctly, the Vine Court means to formally interrogate Clan Silverash. The people of Trag are uneasy enough as it is. The last thing we want is to see this conflict escalate further. However, Sir Saintess, as the head of the clan, if you still believe you bear responsibility for Trag, please go to the Vine Court with us to discuss the next steps. Very well. I have no reason to refuse. However, if I'm to explain the situation, I will need some time to prepare the relevant documents. Please allow me that. Furthermore, I still have some things to discuss with Madame Saintess, so I would like to ask for your patience. Of course, Sir Ziotis. Madam Sirus, thank you for taking the time to look after Encia. I would like to formally invite you to be a guest of Clan Silverash. I would also like to thank you for your concern in person, while Encia is present as well.
What?
It would have been more courteous to have sent the invitation to you in a formal capacity, but given the hasty nature of this matter, the best I can do is to throw something together by hand. I do hope you forgive me. We look forward to you gracing us with your presence.
Before his invitee can respond, Enciotis picks up the pen and paper from the table, scribbles down a few lines, and hands the invitation over. Sirius takes it. There's only an address on the piece of a paper. Hardly an invitation at all. Thank you for the invitation. I'll be there in time. Oh, I wonder who's going to be at that location. To Mr. Edelweiss of Carlin Trade, I hope this letter finds you well. At the time you read this, I'm yet to receive trip authorization from Rhine Lab, so please take note. This letter does not, in any capacity, serve as an agreement or treaty between Rhine Lab and Carlin Trade. Rather, it only represents my personal analysis of the recent phenomenon Trag. My specimen comes from the sound waves collected by the observation station at 3:19 a.m. on December 7, 1101. I can say for certain that at the time, an unidentified object fell from the sky onto Mount Carlon. Though a chain of evidence definitively linking the phenomena is still missing, a catastrophe did in fact occur 32 hours later. I do not intend to establish a casual link between the two things. If this crash is a singular event in history, then so too is a catastrophe. What I am preparing to do is to confirm whether or not there is an empirical connection between these two events. Additionally, do forgive my frankness, but if the hypothesis that these two events are linked does not bear out, the outcome for Trag is not optimistic. Whatever factor that has protected Trag from catastrophes over the millennia may no longer be effective, or at least be in an unusable state. I would of course love to write this off as mere conjecture, but nevertheless, I also hope that Carlin Trade will be adequately mindful of the potential risks moving forward. Carolyn, an insider with more detailed information, has likely made similar inferences, but I'm in the dark as to what her objectives are at this moment. I will strive to complete this research while maintaining an objective and rational perspective. I would greatly appreciate Carlin Trade's support in my efforts. Respectfully, Elena Urbica. What you thinking, Gnosis?
Come in.
I was just looking for you, Director.
Take this letter over to Enciotis. Classify it top secret.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Any other news?
Yes, the observation post previously dispatched to the mining site has sent back a sighting report. A convoy bearing Victorian markings is approaching the outskirts of the mine, but the specific origins are unknown. Matterhorn led his clansmen there ahead of time. He said that he would try to stall for as much time as possible and await your judgment.
The Victorians would have come sooner or later. Looks like we won't have to wait any longer. Prepare vehicles as soon as possible. Matterhorn may not be able to hold them off for long. Tell him to let the other party make the first move, and prioritize observation. I will arrive shortly.
During this time, Rose Island's main force, which consists of me, a monster, and some of our lead operators, are in Ursus at this time. Ooh.
I'm warning you, don't get in our way if you know what's good for you. I'm simply following orders. The area ahead is a restricted warehouse, and nobody's allowed to enter without Carlin Tree's permission. Has no one informed you that the House Caster has acquired all of Cashimir's rights to the site? To the best of my knowledge, the handover process is still underway. We were only notified by Cashimir's yesterday, which is why we have to inspect all the assets in advance. If you have complaints, you can take them up with Her Grace the Duke. Now listen to your betters and open the warehouse door post-haste. Finally, someone worth talking to. Mr. Gnosis Edelweiss of Carlin Trade. It seems the introduction I prepared will be going to waste, good sir. Of course, naturally, you must understand who I'm representing here. Due to your mismanagement and the resultant substantial financial losses, Her Grace the Duke has decided to dismiss some key employees of Carlin Trade employed at the site, including the former executive manager. To this, I have no objection. I'll cooperate fully during this handover process. Excellent. Now then, Mr. Edelweiss, please open the warehouse door. However, on this point alone, I cannot comply. What Matterhorn said is true. There indeed are regulations pertaining to this confidential warehouse. I humbly ask for yours and Her Grace's understanding. Based on the information I have, the security clearance level on this warehouse was raised just recently. What do you say to this, Mr. Edelweiss? Allow me to explain. This warehouse is mainly used to store various kinds of industrial waste, but recently, the purification system and negative pressure ventilation system both malfunctioned. We temporarily raised the security clearance level and strictly restricted access in the interim before professionals can handle the situation. I fully understand Her Grace's concern about the assets acquired, but for your safety, could I ask that this inspection be postponed? I accept the risk at hand. Just open the door. All else aside, this is Chirag's mine. Should pollutants leak or any other dangerous situation arises, Chirag does not rule out the right to intervene through administrative measures. Before you offer to take responsibility, I suggest you contact Her Grace, the Duke, once more. Good to see you again, Mr. Matterhorn. Pardon me, Father. I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to wait until at the reception for now. I currently have business with a diplomatic guest. Mr. Edelweiss, I was expressly invited here by the Victorians. Since when is the Phi-MD court so concerned with temporal affairs? Today, both the clan leadership and the general public are dissatisfied with the way Carlin Trade has been engaging with Victoria. The Great Elder has summoned Sir Theodos to an inquiry into the matter. Perhaps you will also need to report to the Phi-MD court soon. Why then would a cleric feel the need to accept an invitation to come here before that? I wish to ensure a smooth handover process and hope that Carlin Trade is willing to cooperate to the fullest extent. Please open the warehouse door, Mr. Edelweiss. Given the power has been restored by the three clans, perhaps the Phi-MD court would be more representative of Chirag's administrative measures. Matterhorn, open the door.
Watch there be nothing sus in there. The door slowly opens, and the Victorian ambassador is caught unaware by the dust that diffuses from within. He squints and fans the air in front of him with his hand. There is neither the smell of industrial waste, nor the texture of originium dust. The ambassador's eyes gradually adjust to the vast, unobstructed warehouse within, which is
nothing but scrap metal? As I stated, there is nothing here but industrial waste. Please leave as soon as you're finished your inspection. Staying here for an extended period of time would be detrimental to your health. Everyone, stay put. I'm conducting the inspection myself.
He's probably feeling trolled. He's like, wait, what? Eh? Where's the mysterious instruments of war that we thought would be in here? As soon as he enters the warehouse, he feels a vast space around him, dilating in all directions, the steel frame stretching straight into the ceiling, surrounded by scrap metal of all shapes and sizes. There's no way such a large warehouse was set up just to store these things. It's far too pretentious. He approaches the bottom of one of the shelves and reaches out to rummage through it with no particular aim in mind. The clanging of metal echoes through the warehouse.
Wait, is this... It's still half intact, and I can still make it out. The insignia of Silverash's private army, the Tachigata. Were these originally weapons and gear not improperly disposed of after being thrown in the shredder?
An idea bubbles up, and he keeps looking elsewhere. Though Carlin Trade has been quite meticulous, a few clues are bound to leak through. Of this, he is certain.
Replicas of Victoria's newest equipment, as well as large-caliber naval gun parts. All failures, unable to break through the technical barrier.
The army designations, the insignias, many other terms in the Chiragi language, he quietly memorizes them all.
Sir, are you done yet? Yes, I am.
The ambassador returns to the group.
I've more or less seen what I need to see, Mr. Edelweiss. I will summarize the entire situation and faithfully report it to the Duke. Sir, the internal railway in the mining site has been cleared, and you haven't had time to inspect it yet. Does Victoria also need to use the internal railway? Yes, we've contacted a number of suppliers for quotes. Using the internal railway, we can significantly reduce transportation costs. Father, is the Phi-MD quite aware of this? If you're so keen to get involved in diplomatic affairs, Carlin Trade hopes that you will also be willing to verify any business entities that wish to join.
Gnosis' concerns interrupts the thoughts of the Phi-MD court envoy, who then looks away from the railway.
That will require the Great Elder's input. I understand. By Chirigander, I ask the Phi-MD court not make things difficult for Ensiotis. I will remain at Carlin Trade's headquarters, awaiting your summons. By Chirigander.
Since I got 6, I wonder if I unlocked the new person yet. I never checked yet. I want my welfare. Oops, wrong area. Was it here? Oh wait, no. Carlin Trade Engineering Manual. Nah. I don't need to do that. Here. Yep, I got her.
Doctor, また会えて嬉しいよ。しっかりとロドスでの暮らしと仕事の流れを復習してきたから、今回は何でもバッチリこなせるよ。
I love her new look. It's so pretty.
前の仕事ぶりにも満足だったって？
Aw, she's so happy. It's cute. Stone desk. Carlin visitor sofa. Wait, what other things are in here? So we got more furniture. I never looked at this yet. Ooh, look at all this furniture. Fancy furniture. And then, of course, the regular stuff. But, furniture. Beautiful furniture. Okay, back here. And don't mind me, I'm just looking at what there is for me to farm later on. So there's rare. And I don't want to farm that one. Potential for this one. Oh yeah, guarantee, that's good, that's very good. Okay. Incense and shadows. A secret in a haze. A stick of incense burned down to ash. A rumbling roar. 2 lovers. 3 children. Wait, what? 2 lovers, 3 children? Are we gonna get a backstory? Because I'm thinking 3 children. Of course, the silver ashes would come to mind. Not sure who else. But I guess I'll find out. 2 lovers and 3 children.
You finally come, Ensiotis.
Hey, Adso.
Naturally, I would not dare refuse an invitation from the Phi-MD court, Great Elder Adso. If I remember correctly, it shouldn't take very long to get from the Silver Ash domain to the Phi-MD court. To be summoned to the Phi-MD court is a matter of great importance, as they stand accused of improper dealings with Victoria. I had to make ample preparations to prove my innocence. Without further ado, Sir Ensiotis, please come inside so that we may discuss this further. One moment, please.
Screech! A large convoy of vehicles pulls up to the center of the Phi-MD court.
Silver Ash, what is the meaning of this? Are you not investigating the ties between Carlin Trade and Victoria? I had someone compile all the documents related to the last decade of business dealings between Carlin Trade and Victoria. It is quite the voluminous collection, so much so that we had to fill several trucks. Great Elder Adso, if it interests you, please take your time to read through it. Good, very good. Unload everything, then tell your people to leave. I'm afraid I can't do that. What is the meaning of this, Ensiotis? It is true that as of late, Chirag has had to weather great turmoil. Undoubtedly, Victoria has been at the heart of many of these incidents. Indeed, our troops have discovered evidence of contact between the Phi-MD court and Victorian spies. Empty accusations, without proof. What right do you have to investigate the Phi-MD court?
Hello?
Investigate? I would never dream of such a thing. However, the Phi-MD court has accused me of colluding with Victoria, and so I am here. By my command, nobody is to leave the Phi-MD court today until Great Elder Adso and I reach a conclusion. Yes, sir. Now then, Great Elder Adso.
Two can play at this game.
We've never talked like this before. I've hardly ever seen you in my past visits to the Phi-MD court, let alone spoken with you.
Well, he recently became the elder, so maybe he doesn't know exactly, everything that was going on. Because he only got this new position because of his age. Otherwise, he's been mainly looking at looking at the records. So depending on how long he's been in this position.
I've heard from many clerics that you spent years in seclusion, studying the scriptures in the Hall of Writings and never concerning yourself with temporal affairs.
Yeah, exactly. Studying the scriptures in the Hall of Writings for years in seclusion.
It seems you've also come to handle the affairs of the Phi-MD court with ease. The only thing I've done over the years is ensure that Chirag follows the path she ordained. Moreover, we stand at a critical juncture concerning our survival. Should the Phi-MD court stand by and watch you drag Chirag into the abyss, allowing Kashmirish, Victoria, or any other foreign power to devour us? You're not thinking of Chirag, Sir Ensiotis. Thank you for the admonition, Great Elder. If Chirag were to have a king, it could only be her. If there are diplomatic errors in the Phi-MD court wishes to correct, then Carlin Trade will do our best to cooperate. However, there's one question that puzzles me, for which I seek your guidance. How exactly is the Phi-MD court negotiating with Victoria? Is it using all of Chirag as a bargaining chip? Elder! We just took a look around. Silverash's troops have already blocked the way down the mountain. We will go check the back door and the secret passage. I wouldn't bother with that unless you're keen on searching for Tashigata. Don't be alarmed by Tirgander. I have no intention of attacking the Phi-MD court. Tell everyone outside to rest where they are. No one is to move without my order. Ensiotis, you accuse the Phi-MD court of betraying Chirag to Victoria. Where's the evidence of your claim? Please be patient, Great Elder. It will take some time for the evidence to be delivered here. In other words, you came empty-handed, yet still chose to resort to violence against us. You should know that what the price is for doing this, head of the Silverash clan. Look down at the people beneath the mountain. Your elite troops might be able to block off the Phi-MD court, but you cannot fight all of Chirag. I'm willing to give you time, but if you cannot produce conclusive evidence before sundown, I'm afraid that the reputation of Carlin Trade, and even that of the entire Silverash name, will be in tatters. You will become untouchables throughout the land of Chirag. Indeed, I am, of course, well aware of the consequences of my actions. What I do not know, however, is what it would mean for Chirag if the Phi-MD court is found to be colluding with the enemy that assassinated leaders from the 3 clans and was caught in the act of espionage. I'll be with you to witness that moment, Elder. I know exactly what you're waiting for, but time is on your side, Sir Ensiotis. Let us in! We're invited by the Phi-MD court to participate in the blessing ceremony, and Silverash and goons have no right to stop us.
Throughout her illustrious career, the Black Knight was unshakable, even by the most fearsome opponents. But now looking down at the teeming crowds crammed into the narrow mountain road, she feels utterly helpless for the first time.
Why haven't we seen a single cleric here? What is Silverash trying to pull? Please calm down, everyone. The Phi-MD court has encountered some extenuating circumstances, and Sir Theotis is assisting with the investigation. We came for an invitation, and you're telling us that there are extenuating circumstances now that we're here? Cut the crap!
A man squeezes through the crowd, but as soon as he takes a step forward, he is met with Dagenbreaker's cold glare and has no choice but retreat, muttering under his breath.
Sir Theotis will issue an explanation to the public after things have settled down. Please, I ask that you all return home for now. Ma'am, be careful. I'm fine, Dagenbreaker. I can stand on my own. We all trust you. We know that you're a daughter of Treg and would never bring us harm.
It's a good thing they like Dagenbreaker. She is a good girl. They're like, we like you. We may not like your boss, but you're fine. You're fine with us. So can you tell this old woman exactly what is happening with the Phi-MD court? What do you know about this whole thing? A vehicle winds its way along the mountain road. Outside the window, dense dark clouds are gathering, mingling. The window rolls down, and a few snowflakes laced with unidentified impurities slide into the car before disappearing without a trace.
The signal's a little better now. According to our informants, Victoria and the people from the Phi-MD court have left the mining site and have not made any further moves. But given this weather, we can expect more heavy snow. It will take a lot longer to get back to the headquarters than expected. Compared to that, this little hiccup can hardly be considered beyond our expectations.
Yeah, it's like, Dagenbreaker, she's fine. Like, we've dealt with her personally. She's helpful, she's good. She's a good girl. She just wants to fish with us, help us against avalanches, take care of our animals. Like, she's fine.
Are you referring to those Victorians from earlier? They got the intel they wanted, but so did we. I mean the Phi-MD court. The Phi-MD court, huh? The fact that they show up here instead of calming the populace is rather strange indeed. It's evident that they were completely unprepared for the situation, and their deliberate attempts to hide their schemes are easily seen through. If some of them are willing to play cover-up for the Victorians, then it's only a matter of time until the mask comes off. It's nearly time. Turn back to the mining site. Are you trying to? The exit ways are now open, making it a good place to leave the country. As you just heard, Theotis has already surrounded the Phi-MD court with his men. He has deliberately made a big show of things to alert the enemy. Those hiding in Trag will definitely be itching to seize the moment. Our undercover agent friend we've been tracking seems to have a particular fondness for this kind of stuff, and should be arriving in the vicinity soon. Moreover, I suspect she's not the only one either. Instead of looking for her, we should just let her come to us. Gather everyone together and keep a close eye on the entrance to the mining site. Pay extra attention to the people who helped her escape.
The old man from the Vine Court.
While you were on your way, the clergy throughout the city were already inviting people to come up the mountain for the ceremony. I wonder how long Dagenbreaker can hold them back. Did the Phi-MD court stoop to these desperate measures knowing that I would not point my weapons at the people? It's true that I'm using them just as you did to Arknights and Radatos during the Holy Hunt a few years ago. Perhaps I overestimated you, Sir Theotis. Even if you're hungry for power, you should be less obvious about it. Before you commit a grave error, I'm willing to announce to the public that you've come to the Phi-MD court to capture the Victorian assassin. If you truly thought highly of me in any capacity, you would not think that I'm only seeking power. All I care about is the future of the land of Trag. So a violent coup is the best path forward? Yes, because a Victorian friend sits in a position that cannot be reached except through violence. Ha ha ha. What you say is true, Sir Theotis. The unarmed Phi-MD court, driven to despair by the descendants of Victorians and their acolytes, help us to defend themselves, even when thieves cry thief in front of them. Behavior determines identity better than blood. It is the fact that since the attack on Encia, people from the Phi-MD court have been falling over themselves back to Victoria. If you're so confident that you know what I'm waiting for. The cleric and the Victorian spy caught red-handed together. Be it for the general public or for the three clans, the rest speaks for itself. I know more about the conduct of these clerics than you do. Even if the Duke of Castor were to come here herself, she would only tell you that I firmly rejected her offer.
Yeah, he probably rejected her, but not the others. Yep.
That is nothing more than an excuse. A failure to control your subordinates means you're equally responsible for them. And the same applies to Carlin trade. What you suggest is that the clergy of the Phi-MD court indulge in pleasure and collude with foreigners while they remain oblivious and allow them to sell out drag?
Exactly!
You and Victoria share many of the same delusions. In reality, the Phi-MD court has only ever wanted to use this as a pretext to expel Victoria and their true ally.
Sarah, you really don't know. Yeah, this is what happens in your seclusion for many years, dude.
Enciotis Silverash. However, the reality is that they ended up aligning with Victorian practice. All the clergy who've associated with Victoria have sworn an oath of death after you are expelled. Their bones will nourish Chirag's future, and they will leave no regrets behind. So what you propose is that Chirag should purge itself down to those who hunt Victorian spies to this day. Those who the Duke of Castor considers enemies. And that is the only way to defeat Victoria.
What you doing, Carolyn? There's nobody around. A sudden gust of wind suddenly howls through the unfamiliar courtyard. Carolyn continues to stir around her piping hot cup of savory milk tea. The spoon continuing to clink against the cup. I want that. She shudders in anticipation, either due to the drink or her impending evacuation. She stares at the swirling tea and strokes the cup, completely ignorant to the fact that the cup is engraved with Chirag's mountain ridges. She's gonna be facepalming herself right now for reals. I do hope that Char's alright. Her thoughts are interrupted by a knock on the door. Who is it? Stay back!
Sorry to keep you waiting, young lady of Victoria.
It's you.
Please pardon my intrusion, but due to the situation changing, you will be transferred to a new destination instead of ahead of schedule.
What? What happened?
I only know the gist of the Phi-MD court's decision.
It just isn't good enough. We need to have a concrete plan of action, or else.
I will take full responsibility for that operation until you've safely left Chirag's borders. All you need to do is follow the instructions as for how to leave and who will help you. Don't overly concern yourself about such things. Chiragander witnesses all, and she shall walk with us.
Stop trying to fool me with your vague and nondescript dogma.
But Chiragander.
In other words, I become your responsibility now, right?
I'm but a follower of her will.
Sure. Sure you are. Fine. You have your beliefs, and I have mine. But since we'll be working together, let me remind you that if this operation fails, your side will also be exposed.
That's right.
Does it not worry you at all? The cleric simply smiles gently and takes a garment from his bag.
No, young lady. All I need is faith. You can also place your faith in us. As long as we are of one heart, we can overcome our fear.
Cleric of the Phi-MD court. I don't think we need to discuss this any further. Instead, let's focus on something useful, like when we leave.
My apologies, young lady. This is a cleric's robe that I sewed myself. Please put it on for now.
Like, they're being extra sus. So yes, by Chiragander, this is all in her will. Yeah, totally. Excuses, dude. Like, she hasn't been punishing me yet, so that means she wants this. It's like, nah, you're about to be bonked, dude.
This journey will take you past many people and countless eyes. If you encounter someone who comes up to you seeking prayer answers, do not try to please them, stay silent, and avoid them. I will walk with you no matter what dangers we may face.
Color me curious. Why do people pray to your god for protection even after a catastrophe?
Just in case. Believe me, young lady, you know too little about Cherag. Now please pack your belongings. I'll wait for you outside.
The door opens and a dry cold wind rushes in, lashing at the cleric's neck and face. An old dagger slips from his bag, and he nonchalantly bends down to pick it up. Oh, totally not sus at all. He knows exactly what this amulet, forged for him by his father, who has returned to Cheragander, will ultimately be used for.
By Cheragander.
Oh, he's gonna stab Carolyn. And then maybe himself.
May this devout body be blessed, and may it spread your holy will. They brought excellent seeds to Cherag, as well as machinery. The Phi-MD court has never denied these contributions. To be frank, I've never seen anyone so complicated in my already withering life. Hero. This is nothing to dispel my doubts. Compared to these acts, the Phi-MD court seems only to recognize friend and foe based on where they come from. Then allow me to ask you a question first, Saintess. In your heart of hearts, what exactly is Cherag? I've already answered this through my actions. Victorian-style buildings, Victorian-style weapons, Victorian-mandated laws. Is this your answer? Unless we choose to seclude ourselves deeper within the mountains, shunning both external disturbances and further advancement. Otherwise, you might even be able to see things from Laterano or Lithuania one day. Until one day, the people of Cherag believe in nothing but originium and money, unless faith itself can be sold. Once the shell of Cheragander is ripped open, the people shall no longer hold any reverence for eternity. They will only chase after their own values and desires. They will hate the strong because of this new theater. The more one abandons his morality, the stronger he becomes. They will hate the weak because the weak will come to occupy the crevices of pity and charity. Nihilism will become the most popular ideology. The people's hearts will become empty and detached, and they will take pride in this emptiness. Your ideals are slaughtering the people of Cherag, turning Victoria's present into our future. The Cheragander that the Phi-MD court worships is far more fragile than the one I worship. If all it takes to overthrow your secret beliefs are a few foreign tools, then how has Mount Carlon stood to this day? How could it be that foreign tools can cover our mountains and rivers, yet foreign ideas can never be touched? If this is what you believe, then you must also admit that what can conquer the body can also conquer the soul. Born into a dark and hopeless era, you must race faster than the clouds to avoid being swallowed by darkness. Faith should not drive people to become accustomed to the darkness, but rather unwaveringly affirm the yearning for light. Yet the more pious one is, the more destitute he becomes. In due time, he will see piety as a noose, and begin to hate the history of faith itself. Which is why those who adhere to the teachings of Cheragander were ridiculed as pedantic and ignorant. Without turning on the tap, there is no clean drinking water. Without applying chemical fertilizers, there is no fertile farmland. You level the mountains and forests to build your factories, and send the displaced back to the ruins of their homes to either sell their labor or die. The lives you've improved for some are fed by the happiness you've stolen from others. O eloquent Grandmaster, I ask you, how should we deal with the stragglers left in your wake? You're right, it is a heavy responsibility that I must accept. However, the Phi-MD court only fantasizes about incremental change while continuing to regard doing nothing as a virtue. Such people have no right to judge me. I've never sought to block Cherag's progress. My only responsibility is to pull the reins on self-important tourists before things spiral out of control. You're moving too quickly, Saintess. The way to format the Cheragander, the way to punctuate prayer passages, which had to raise during rituals, are debates that can last for centuries. Elder of Clan Browntail, you have both the talent and platform, and yet you only yearn for the solace of the other shore. Yet when you hide away in the Hall of Writings and philosophize from your armchair, do you know anything about where Cherag is actually headed? What I know is what Cherag would never let an apostle take the helm, and I've never been one to philosophize from my armchair. You're not the first apostate I've dealt with. What memories come to mind when you hear the names Oliver and Elizabeth Silverash? What?
He knows Mom and Dad. Victorian agent.
This bloody weather again. Damn it. Why is there traffic jam in a place like this? Hey, you in the back. The road's about to get real bumpy. If you want to be able to stand after getting out of the truck, I'd recommend taking a nap now and conserving your energy.
Inside the rear compartment, the lights flicker as the truck sways. The passengers, trying to escape, sit upright in their haystacks, eyes tightly shut.
Shit, what's that thing in front of me? Erg.
Car crash? An oil slick spills across the middle of the road, and in front of the stopped truck is a line of fully armed men. The engine emits a strange, strained noise, and the windows are splattered with paint. Inside the driver's seat, the Victorian tightly grips his steering wheel. Ooh, he's been caught.
I've never tried to hide where I come from, even though it's something that others have long forgotten. Luca Browntail, Ranatos and Sirius's grandfather, my cousin. In order to achieve the same goal, we accepted different fates to safeguard Chirag's order through the Tri-Clan Council and the Phi-MD Court. Though known for his ruthlessness, he still harbored fantasies about the Silver Ashes until the very end. He said, a peaceful resolution is never impossible as long as the couple are willing to make concessions. But I have never lived in fantasy. The train accident. Ha ha ha. Is that what you believe? Or do Ranatos make you believe it? How many clergymen and devotees do you think are out there among the commoners? If the masses wish for Chiragana to punish the apostates, then I, serving the Phi-MD Court, shall deliver on those wishes. Saintess, the man who killed your parents is right in front of you. Those who commit murder will be punished twice over by Chiragander. This crippled body has lost any meaning for me long ago. I grant you permission to dispose of me as you wish for reasons private and public, not for treason but for murder. Arrest me here and put me on trial. Let the people of Chirag see just how sinful it is to kill an apostate.
The old man wobbles to his feet, his withered fingers clenching into fists as if using all his strength. Suddenly, he stretches his arms out before Saintess. Like a sinner waiting to have his confession heard, his cloudy eyes shine with a glimmer of light, as if seeking to quench decades of old grudges with another's anger. Dang, dude. And Saintess slowly closes his eyes, his fingertips wrapping tightly around his cane.
If you're trying to provoke me into acting out of line, I'm afraid your efforts are in vain. I won't lay a finger on you here. All I can do is ensure that you receive a fair trial.
I wonder if Saintess recorded that. I hope he recorded the confession. I feel like he must have a recording device somewhere. Since Ranatos was recording stuff secretly, so why not him? Heck, it'd be funny if Ranatos finds out too. She'd be like, Grandpa, what did you do? Like, wow, Grandpa. Look at you admitting your crime. Thanks, Grandpa. Oh, look at the little doggos. They're so cute looking. I wish I didn't have to bonk them. Oh gosh, so many of them. Well, come closer. Come here, little doggos. No? Okay. Totally fine. Hey, you go here? Those mushrooms. Hey, keep bonking. Oh, I should put her down there. Oops, that's my bad. Completely my bad. Oh, there's a safe space over here. Okay, thank goodness for safe spaces. I was low-key worried that all areas would be bad. But no, it's fine. Also, I just realized 122 enemies. Sheesh! I didn't realize there were so many. Oof. Ouch, just ouch. Ta-da! Phew! Very, very nice. Hurry up! You in the back, keep up. Our intel indicates that the target should be around here. Search carefully, and leave no stone unturned. After that woman left the room, an unknown amount of time passed, to the point that time itself seemed alien to Monk. Only the stinging pain of the ropes tightly binding her reminds her that she has not yet lost consciousness. Finally, a hopeful sound comes from behind the door, and Monk musters what might she has left to shut out. I'm over here. But try as she might, her parched throat can hardly produce a sound. Poor Monk. She laboriously crawls towards the door. It opens. Yes, Theorus. Monk! Madam, why are you here? We've been searching for you ever since the catastrophe hit. The damn Silver Ash, pretentious bastard. Though they actually had some useful intel. But in the end, I still ended up having to do all the legwork myself to find you. How are you doing? You hurt anywhere? Wait, your leg. I'm fine. Madam, listen to me. The researcher I'm tracking, she's from Victoria, but more important, she's got ties to Colombia. What they're really after is... she passed out. Oops. Monk! Monk! I feel like Adza did probably feel some guilt. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna tell you. Plus I hate you, so if I tell you that and then you bonk me afterwards, teehee, you're gonna get in trouble too. Cause I feel like he doesn't hate the sisters, at least. He probably hates Silver Ash the most because he's like his parents. He's the most like his parents. Along the narrow mountain path, the convoy slowly plods onward. After the incident's sudden outbreak, no shortage of people left their cars to observe the conflict's epicenter.
Turn off the engine. Get out. What do you think you're doing? Who the hell are you people? I'm an industrial investigator dispatched from Victoria. This is illegal obstruction of official business. You've damaged your property, endangered Victorian lives, and almost even caused an accident. Mark my words, the Phi-MD court will hear of this. Never should have come to this bloody shithole. Are you done? Did you get all the pictures? Yes, sir. This is no time for you to twist the narrative, Victorian. Just cooperate. Open up the rear compartment. Unwilling to cooperate, fine by me. You're more than welcome to conserve your energy to fend for yourselves before the court if you're cold. I can offer you a blanket.
Yeah, that specific beef is with my parents, not with me. Matterhorn waves his hand, and the guard pries open the rear compartment without a word. Seated upright upon a haystack there is an old cleric. Sup. He brushes the dust off his body and walks out. It is an emotionless affair, hardly amounting to courage. The old cleric gazes upon the blinding brightness before him, and recollects the scenes from before. Some 10 minutes ago. By the truck stop. Have we arrived? Carolyn lowers her voice. Did something happen?
Stay calm, young lady.
Did they find us? Carolyn!
I didn't expect to find you here, cleric of the Vine Court. Let's continue this conversation elsewhere. This place is less than ideal. You are as hasty as always, young master of Clan Edelweiss. Honorable friends of Clan Silverash, I apologize for disturbing your work during this inclement weather. I am more than glad to go along with your arrangements. Looks like the one we're after isn't here. I do believe this is where we part ways, young lady from Victoria.
Are you getting off?
No, I'll stay here. Just keep walking forward, and don't look back. The entrance isn't far off. Silverash's people will surely notice this truck. Get out of here before they find you. But you're a gander, trust me.
The old cleric helps Carolyn up. I'll do as you said, but you'll also be exposed.
That too is your gander's will. What I cannot change, I shall therefore accept. I ask only for her forgiveness.
I can't say I understand what your beliefs truly are, but maybe someday I will. I respect your beliefs, and so I'll also try to find a way to live in peace. Best of luck to you, sir. Carolyn gets off the truck and runs without stopping, in a direction leading far, far from Trag. Shedding her stained cleric's robe, she shivers in the cold. Alone she walks through the vast, pale mountainscape, until in the distance a dark tunnel entrance beckons to her. Through the telescope's lens, Gnosis sees a mysterious scientist step into the shadows. Ah, he's watching!
Arrest these two and have them sent straight to the Vine Court.
Good job, Gnosis.
I brought one. I'm afraid I cannot grant your wish, Great Elder.
Upon hearing that long-awaited voice, Enciota stands up and walks past the old man, who remains frozen like a wooden sculpture.
Gnosis executed the plan. The Tashigata deployed immediately on a signal.
Before the presence of these wraiths, the clerics could do nothing but stumble back into their abodes, their tender faces fixed in fear.
I'm one of the Vine Court's clerics. You can't treat me like this. Shut up and stop resisting. Master Free is here too. Please help me.
The one just brought in was the once arrogant envoy of the Vine Court. His gaze sweeps over the shouting cleric, and he shakes his head.
Father Frey, I believe I can now explain your actions. Victoria's agents conspired with the Vine Court's clerics to smuggle spies out of the country through the mine railway, but were caught red-handed thanks to Carlin trade. And before that you were assisting the Victorians with scouring the mining site. Premeditated ill intent. And lest you forget, you protected the suspect following Radatos's funeral. You will formally be put on trial for the crimes. But Chirigander, forgive him, for he knows not what he speaks. It is the fact that spies have infiltrated the Vine Court. I urge you not to resist. Cooperation with our investigation is the only path to leniency. Take Great Elder Adso, Father Frey, and the other elders of the Vine Court away for questioning. The other clerics are to remain there, awaiting their summons. Yes, sir. Now then, Great Elder Adso. Silverash, do you think you've won? Those who live by the blade will find their arrogance short-lived. I wonder just how long will your arbitrary reign of terror last?
Without making any unnecessary movements, Adso gives a slight nod to the crowd, then slowly walks to the door.
Great Elder, what should we do? Survive. The rest is already written in the scriptures. I have nothing else to say. You are her servants, and whatever happens, you must act according to your conscience. Take him away. But Chirigander, may the guilty receive their fair trial.
I was wondering how this group was doing. This is an abandoned mining shaft. The torches in the tunnel lights don't work anymore. Bend down carefully and watch your head. If we wrap around from the side, we should just be able to make it. Erg! Watch out! Come over first. Watch your step. Joanna shifts her feet, and several rocks tumble down the cave. The sounds of dislodged pebbles echoing through the cracked crevices as they fall. She shudders. So deep, you'd probably turn into a stain on the ground if you fell from this height. Damn those Victorians for causing trouble in the mines, else you wouldn't have had to come this way. Huh? Saintess, what are you looking at? There's a light ahead. It must be the path leading to the main ore vein. Come, let's hold hands, just like before. We're just a few steps shy of our answer. We mustn't run into danger here. Soon, we will find all our answers. Just keep walking. The map is illuminated by the flickering light of the oil lamp. They hardly converse, moving forward in silence, their steps filled with both fear and anticipation. But eventually, the search comes to an end. Are you sure this is the right place? Might we have made a mistake? No, I'm sure of it. This is the mine I previously calculated and located. There's no way this could be the wrong place. But... what are you two talking about? This is the place we're looking for, yeah? According to my plan, we should be able to find an orogenium vein here. My deduction can be proven correct if and only if it exists. But this place is an Oriron mine. What? I've investigated and analyzed everything. These are all just ordinary Oriron deposits. There's no chance they're related to catastrophe, let alone any traces of extraterrestrial objects. Where did we go wrong? But why? We clearly saw a bunch of trucks transporting orogenium on our way here. How could this all just be Oriron? It doesn't take long for Enya to grasp the schemes of the man bonded to her by blood. Indeed, we came to the wrong place. The mineral vein here is not the heart of Karlan, but rather the bones of Chirag. The bones that uphold Chirag's spine. May I say something? The heart of Karlan is a pure core that validates faith. Man's eyes, ears, mouth, nose, and hands can deceive, and only the heart cannot, such as written on the Chiragander. But I don't think we're being unfaithful or impious. All we know is how much we've done. I mean, we all know how much we've done, and surely she must know too. Just like how give everything on the hunt, only to come up empty-handed and go hungry through the night. But we must have faith. Faith in the land of Chirag, faith in Chiragander's protection. She promised us that as long as we have our two hands, we shall not starve or freeze to death in Chirag's lands. So, great Saintess, come. Let's try again. Huh? Try what? Use your bell to call Chiragander. The sweet bell, the sound of the Saintess who's played to awaken Chiragander. The clear sound beloved of her. The sound that is her call. Oh man, that'd be funny. One day I was hunting to suddenly bent on a stranger that happened to be the Saintess. Then some shady assassins went into the house and happened to be going to the same direction of the Saintess on her pilgrimage. So it says in the Chiragander that bird and beast wearing this bell will not be snatched away by wild beasts. They shall not fall ill or die young, and shall find their way back home should they ever be lost. For one's heart to be astray is to be lost too, right? I don't totally get what it means, but I heard it from one of the clerics at the Phi-MD court. Unlike her two dejected companions, the girl shows no signs of discouragement and is eager to try again. That's right, we should keep trying. Perhaps Chiragander will respond to us. The silver barrel rings out on high, its engraved pattern shimmering beneath the hazy light of the miner's lamps. She had tried to call out like this before, at the Phi-MD court, in her own bedroom, among her books while resting among the snow-capped mountains. Ring ring! The clear cold sound of the silver bell echoes through the empty cave. Whoa, that's... That's... Oh. The sound. This frequency. Why does it sound so alike? Did you discover something? The frequency that goes off your bell throughout the cave sound just like that one audio recording from the observatory. Almost identical even. Is that just a coincidence? A coincidence? No. In nature, no two snowflakes are exactly alike. Say, Saintess, where exactly did the bell come from? That would require going back to the very ancient legends. In Drag history, there were a long span of time where Turgander fell into deep slumber until she was awoken by a devout Saintess. It was Turgander's gift to the Saintess. I've also heard that when subsequent craftsmen made bells for the Saintesses, they sought to imitate the sounds of the mountains. The sounds of the mountains? What kind of mountain could make a sound? A Fahrenheit? Impossible. How could that be? Step out of it, Elena. You're a scientist. How can you let your faith falter at a time like this? Girl, Fahrenheits exist. You work at a place with them. As in, Rose Island. Elena, are you saying that on the day before the catastrophe, something fell into Mount Carlon, thus creating that sound? Based on my previous conjectures, yes. So think about it this way. If we think of the mountains as a huge bell, doesn't that mean there's probably a huge hollow inside it? Theoretically speaking, that would be plausible. But do you know where a massive hollow like that could exist? There's a rumor now recorded in Chirag's official history, and it also happens to be related to the Saintess who awakened Chiragander. A long time ago, there was once an uprising against the Vine-Bee court in Chirag. The people had grown dissatisfied because of Chiragander had not performed any miracles in a long time, and so they marched upon the Vine-Bee court. Their wrath was only quelled when the Saintess awakened the sleeping deity. During the chaos, a number of clerics took their precious scriptures and took refuge within Mount Carlon, thereby preserving some of their valuable knowledge. Yet regardless of the classic works of the Vine-Bee court still suffered a break in continuity around that time. What if the account of Chiragander leaving her people within the scriptures is actually a description of this event? Great Saintess, if the sanctuary truly exists, will we find traces of the Chiragander there? Where should we even look? Behind the Vine-Bee court, the place leading to Mount Carlon summit. Anya tightly grips the silver bell in her hand. She seems to hear the wind and the snow, as well as the footsteps that would occasionally shadow her when they worked at the Vine-Bee court. Whose voice was that? Who was calling to her from behind? Who would pat her on the shoulder and bring honeyed sissy milk to her when she was bringing the midnight oil to organize her scriptures? All she can hear and see is the pure white snow that never stops blowing with the wind. Like, something definitely happened to her. Oh, Chiragander, on high, please grant us your guidance. Because I can't imagine Char leading like that without something bad happening. May the path we walk be true. And I hope she remembers Char eventually. A cleric from the Vine-Bee court, in collusion with the Victorian agents, stole important military intelligence and was arrested yesterday. Great Elder Otso confessed to some of these allegations and agreed to fully cooperate with the investigation. During this time, all activities of the Vine-Bee court are to be suspended. There is considerable evidence suggesting that the Victorian agents are involved in a string of unusual natural and social phenomena. Carlin Trade is also assembling scientific researchers to assess the possibility of an espionage-related catastrophe. As a reminder to all citizens of Chirag, if any foreign national approaches you under the guise of offering charity, business ventures, or gathering news, please be extremely vigilant. Harold, what you up to?
I knew it! The Great Elder and that Victorian Duke are in the cahoots. Look what those bastards have brought upon us. Could it just be one big misunderstanding? If even the Vine-Bee court has betrayed Chiragander, my goodness! They're mucking about with the Victorians, and you still give them the benefit of the doubt? But hasn't the Carlin Trade you seem to trust so much been dealing with Victoria this whole time? The only reason you can even hear all this on the radio is thanks to Carlin's trade. But what about the Phi-MD court? What have they ever done for you?
Yeah, Harold's like, not again. And I wonder how that one guy who just got married feels. He's like, come on, my reputation was going up. I even got married, and now this.
Stop your bickering. Victorian Broadcasting has a response. Shut up and listen. I don't give a damn what they have to say. I need to make sense of all this.
Sir Wilson, Sir Wilson, you're highly respected by Her Grace the Duke, as well as an expert on the Trag affair. We'd like to ask you, how should we interpret how should we interpret the attitude displayed by NCO to Silverash?
I see it as nothing more than a way of quelling the public discontent in Chirag, and Siotis has always been a close partner of Victoria.
Don't you find that somewhat difficult to believe?
Even based on publicly available information, it is an indisputable fact that Victoria has been the primary beneficiary of many of the trade contracts strongly spearheaded by Siotis himself. With the help of Carlin Trade, Chirag's development has almost entirely come off the back of Victoria's aid. From the import of breeding beasts and fertilizers to railway technology and even originium processing. In return, Siotis has committed to handing over more than 40% of Chirag's natural resources for Victoria's development. Not long ago, Carlin Trade has also handed over a mining site that was being worked on by Kashimirish to the Duke of Castor. Then it seems that Siotis is trying to maintain an attitude of ambiguity. That being the case, are you not worried that his attempts to sue the public will anger the Duke? Lest you forget, Siotis is a Duke's grandnephew, and the blood of Castor flows in his veins. The delicate understanding between them and the Duke is, without a doubt, difficult for outsiders to grasp. What you may not know is that even while he has issued the statement, he also submitted a new mining agreement to the Duke, who has already signed and returned it. Expect a joint announcement on this matter in a short time. I've obtained key points of this agreement. I would like to share them with you here. Do take a look at these graphs, good sir. Carlin Trade is willing to entrust 100% of future mining rights to a foundation established jointly with the Duke of Castor. This truly is just the tip of the iceberg. Look at what comes next.
Like, I imagine there'd be more people in Rhineland that'd be more open-minded. Nonsense. The young reporter is startled by the volume of her outburst. She instinctively reaches to pat her bulging backpack before turning around. Seeing the empty street makes her let out a heavy sigh. Phew, looks like they won't be able to catch up to me. Camera, recorder, film prints, everything's here. This time, I won't let them take these away. She then looks at the statue of Chergander in the distance, pulls down the brim of her hat, and walks toward the city center. And there she goes. You know, that's a good cliffhanger. I like that. And there she goes. I hope to see Char next time. I really do hope to see Char. Like, Char, please be okay. Whatever you're fighting right now, I believe in you. Also, when are we gonna see the new drip? Because we can see Elena in her new fancy outfit. But I was expecting for Franciotis and Enya to be, like, dressed up all pretty too. Okay, if I can finish the event tomorrow, perfect then. I want them to don their fancy new outfits, their ultra outfits, come on. Like, we got to see Lappy in her new outfit. Got to see Texas in her new outfit. So yo, Silver Ashes, you know you want to dress up, or maybe they're just waiting for the very end to dress up. Because their normal outfits are nice, but the drip. I must see the drip. Holy cow, a lot has happened. I'm glad that Monk is safe. I hope Bradtos just faked her death and that she's not actually dead. Like, come on, Rattatos, please. Please be fine. I hope that Sirius is not gonna be too overwhelmed because she has to take care of the kids too. Unless at this point Yucatan is in charge of the kids. It's like, sorry Yucatan, I gotta step up, so here. Good luck. Super duper good luck with Oakenberry. And then there's Arctos, who's now sober. He's like, oops, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for thinking you were sus, Rattatos. My bad. 100% my bad. Oop. It'll be fun when he returns again. I wonder how hot-headed he's gonna be, or if he's gonna be like, I'm sorry, I can't do that again. I'll think things through better now. Just oop. And I'm glad Gnosis was able to solve everything. Or at least find the others. Like, good job, Gnosis. The investigation was a success. Oh gosh. She'll bonk Arctos. Some bonking be like, how freaking dare you, husband? Bonk, bonk, bonk. Much deserved. But yeah, I hope it's gonna be fine for what happens last, since another catastrophe seems like it's on its way. But I feel like they should be able to do something against it. It'd be cool. It'd be epic seeing Chirgander and the Saintess combat the catastrophe. Now that would make for an epic ending. But oh well, I guess we'll find out what happens tomorrow. Now I shall eat some dinner. Woohoo! I'm thinking of making myself a peanut butter honey sandwich if there's bread. And if there's no bread, then I'll think. I'll just stare what there is. So that being said, thank you everyone for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of the day at Epic Gacha Luck. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Woohoo! And now I have a good farming node, so I'm happy. More rocks for me. And heck, more devices too, why not? More stages to farm, that's all that matters, really.